Okay, there we go. This is the scheduled one. Sorry, I started I started a separate, completely separate live thing, and I need to delete it now. So give me a second. Now it says I have two lives going on at the same time. It's kind of wild. Yeah, I'm just doing twice the work. Yeah, that's it. Come on, YouTube, settle down. Okay, there we go. And delete the 1 minute stream. Yeah, that's my bad. I just didn't select the right thing from the drop down window, which is yeah, totally my bad. There we go. Should be all good now. Just gonna turn off some of those fucking annoying things that always boot up with the system. And okay, there we go. So yeah, again, is there some weirdness going on still? Hold on. Because now when I click my okay, no, it's working fine now. Yeah, I realized like really late. Like I scheduled this stream yesterday late evening because I kind of forgot about it. So might be that a lot of people who wanted to catch the stream didn't get the memo, and they might miss out on it. And again, completely my fault. Thankfully, the VOD is always there. I don't like delete them. I don't do anything with them. I just keep them around for people to watch and enjoy if you you know, if you want to do so at your own leisure. Speaking of, it's too bad Homeward Free React is so far away. No, I'm gonna do it literally next stream. I just like this is the only sorted. The 4 videos are the only sorted part. This is completely unsorted for now. But I'm doing like one Homeward React a stream now, so Homeward Free is definitely coming next week. Speaking of archiving things and being able to watch them easily, man, what the fuck is with the Olympics not being like archived properly online? It bums me out. I was like, after the memes with the Turkish Olympic shooter got popular, I was like, you know what? I actually would like to see some of the competitions. And I went to the internet, and to my fucking surprise, it is impossible to watch like the Olympics in its entirety, separated by all the different disciplines, and all because the rights. Yeah, the Olympics has an iron grip on its copyright for some reason, and they sell the rights to national broadcasting stations for different for different countries, and they have the complete fucking control over how it's preserved and presented. So some of them will give you like an option to watch some of the events, but some of them are completely, if you miss it, you can only read who the fuck won on the internet or something. They even go after people using 1 or 2 second clips of it if they have big enough channels. Oh my fucking god, man. I 100% guarantee it. Olympics would be a way bigger event, especially among like the youth, if it was just a stream on YouTube or something, and like all the streamers like XQC or whatever could just react to it. Man, like it would be such a big deal then, because if you can't really watch it, obviously young people don't have fucking cable TV. I don't have cable TV, man. So they are like literally missing out on this part of all like worldly culture, you know. Such a fucking shame. It's handled so poorly, in my opinion. Hello there, Harry Boneo. The Olympics above everything else should have switched to a switching style stream. It's such a pain to watch it now. Yeah, like I said. Man, just fucking just stream it on YouTube or Twitch and save the VOD and have like sponsored segments. Man, it would have such a viewership, and this companies would kill each other to have fucking sponsorship for such a viewership, you know. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So yeah, again, for today, at first I was like, going to react to 3 videos, and I picked Homeward Deserts of Karak, obviously continuing on the Homeward rabbit hole. Independence Day, An American Disaster by Pointless Hub, which is obviously a movie retrospective. Kind of a deal, a channel that was recommended before and seemed really cool. So, and then the Journeyman project by Ross. And at first I was going to react to just this, but then a Rubik's Raptor video got recommended to me, and I was like, it's literally 12 minutes. If I slot it in, it's not gonna take that much time. So I did so, and that's what we are going to start off with, you know. More importantly, streaming would mean athletes could focus on their own competitions, and we wouldn't need to wait around live broadcast times. Also very true. Like at this point, the Olympics are just refusing to join the 21st century, man. Like, this ain't the fucking era of cable and radio, you know. This is the era of the internet, and like, no matter how outraged people get at that, it's the truth. It's the fucking age of the internet now.
Howdy! Today we are playing as...
Oops.
Howdy!
Oh yeah, I got a suggestion: breaking the Geneva Convention from Grim Clipper. Let me take a look, because sometimes I say Sometimes I say I will check something out and then...
Chemical warfare.
Sometimes I say I will check something out and then I completely forget about it. Like I caught myself doing that more and more lately. So if your recommendation didn't make it on the show, it's not because it wasn't interesting for the most part, probably.
Chemical warfare.
It's just that I'm a fucking dumbass and I forget, so I need to do it more frequently live rather than keeping it for you know, for later. Is it? There we go. Okay, that looks good to me. Probably gonna watch that next stream, so hi there, Red Hog. The one you said you might check out if you don't forget, yeah, and I totally forgot. I fucking scammed you, man. But yeah, now it's on my now it's here on the, what is it? Oh, this didn't update, I guess. If I do this, will it update?
Howdy! Today we are...
Yeah, there it is. Okay, so now I don't have to worry about it.
Howdy! Today...
So yeah, the Dark Angels played by idiots. Arma free Warhammer 40k by Rubik's Raptor. So yeah, another Arma free Warhammer type of a deal. Last time it was the 30k thing that we watched, I think. But we've seen definitely on the channel way more other mods like the SCP Fey Forest thing from Rubik's Raptor. From what I understand, they put in a lot of work themselves for these mods or collaborate with modders. I'm not sure what's the deal, but it's clearly like he's setting and then maybe like playing some other people's mods, but he's setting up a lot of things for these short videos, which was impressive. I didn't know that. I just thought he's grabbing like some really cool mod and kind of showcasing it, you know. That's kind of what you expect from YouTubers on the platform, right? So yeah, wanna see this video because it seemed interesting. So yeah, let's get in there.
Howdy! Today we are playing as the Dark Angels, the first Space Marine Legion of the Imperium of Man, who have a strange fascination with feudal knights. The mission being to reinforce a contingent of Valhallan Imperial Guard who have been fighting for an ice world for a short while. And by short while, I mean a 40k short while, so about, you know, like 4 decades. Though the real motivation for the Space Marines is rumors of a fallen Dark Angel, that being one of the ancient traitors to the Legion that they would really, you know, like to kill. The video is also mostly composed of my left leg exploding and a plasma cannon that can one-shot anything, so I hope you enjoy that. I also hope you enjoy seeing an exceptionally large amount of Space Marines for an Arma mission, and I will see you around.
Yeah, isn't that like a fucking unreal amount of Space Marines to be in one place? From what I understand, they basically stitch together a ton of mods and do a lot of scripting that you have to do in game. So yeah, basically he puts in the work to almost make the mods himself. So yeah, that's a ton of work for a fucking YouTube video. I mean, obviously the mods, I'm assuming he publishes the mods for people to enjoy, but I guess the primary drive is to make these videos, which is a fucking extraordinary amount of work to put into, you know, a video. The Dark Age had legions, so the Space Marine groups went into the tens of thousands. Holy shit.
I'll get one Raiders in a second. I'll come back. Come on, back here, children. Back here. Alright, you can set those radios to 155.
I may have been a little overzealous.
It's Control Shift to make the jump back work?
Control space bar.
My visor disappeared. Where's God? I need to.
Yeah, what's why you have that under your visor? What's the deal?
I thought the shield is so fucking tiny.
What? Take one shot at it. Let's see. It's not.
English or Spanish?
What?
English or English or Spanish?
Spanish, senor.
Oh fuck! No, you fucking. Alright, bro.
Stop it!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Wait, that guy wasn't even involved! Why did you turn him into a little meatball? Artillery inbound. Artillery inbound.
Spread the fuck out, this artillery.
The most real Space Marine comms in existence. Them just fucking asking each other English or Spanish in the middle of a fucking like heretic just cultist activity in the sector. He does a lot of work to make the mods work together and not make Arma want to implode. I'm still impressed about how much, like, seemingly how much mods there are for Arma 3. Seems like the modding scene is fucking powerful, like massive, you know. Even though Arma 3 is... I wouldn't... would I consider Arma 3 a mainstream game? Obviously, it's not like unknown indie gem, but it's not on a top of everyone's tongues when they talk about video games, you know what I'm saying? And the most calm artillery inbound warning. Clearly those were inductees when they grabbed whoever they could and make them Marines. Because of that the losses were that high. Shit, man, that seems like a poor choice. Isn't that exactly the same lore as Halo, where first or second generation Spartans were like just fucking war orphans, put them in power armor, make them the space police to beat on the colonists. And clearly they, as seen in Halo Reach, the survivability of those Spartans were not that good.
Just aim hacking through a tree.
No, engage!
Watch your fire in here. Make sure that you're not shooting at any friendlies if there's any here.
You see the friendly?
Enemy assaulters.
Bro realized he walked into a room full of 40 Space Marines and tried to run. Oh, hey, you be careful with that. You could stab that guy. Oh my god!
Yes, I will hear you.
Do it.
Oh, thank you.
That's a bomb! That's a bomb! Oh my god!
If they see them, don't go out of your way to get.
Assault squad, push the assault.
Roger. What do you mean by self-visibility? All squad.
It's so unintentionally funny that in those Arma videos with Warhammer they always fight for some fucking deserted planet full of like trees and nothing of value in the 10,000 mile radius.
Be on the lookout for cloaked enemies.
Oh my god!
Camera inside.
Oh, there's a tank! Tank! Oh, heavens.
Command, Angel 1 requesting an apothecary to the northwest objective. Multiple battle brothers have sustained
Damn!
for the objective.
Oh my god! What about this guy? This guy's still alive. I can save him. Hi, faction. Just don't die on me. I'm gonna carry you to it. Oh, you died on me. All right, nice. Damn.
There might be a new toaster schematic there.
Holy mother of God.
Careful, folks. Alright, Rookie, you're in charge till I get back.
Well, I got food in my mouth.
Fine. You're in charge till I relog.
Fine.
Oh my God.
What the fuck? What is that doohickey, man? What the fuck is that? Is that an actual thing in Warhammer? Man, you don't see a lot of flying things from Warhammer as a casual like observer from afar. Usually when I see things that carry personnel, it's like huge like boxes, basically flying boxes, you know. Essentially spaceship that can function on normal terrain, not necessarily out in space. But what the fuck is this? This is some shit I would expect from normal Warhammer, not 40k. Like a goblin flying a doohickey, you know? Because that's what I expect to happen when you fly some shit like this. Oh, it's an orc thing? Okay, that makes perfect sense then. Pinnacle of orc engineer.
Oh my God.
Big orc push to the south.
Oh yeah, there we go. There's the orcs. Okay.
This is definitely loud. Oh, hey, guys, look at all those tracers over there. Holy shit! Holy mother of God!
Yeah, that's definitely some fucking orcs. Oh my God. Yeah, like I sometimes forget orcs are a part of 40k setting. They are so goofy in nature, you know. That they almost don't fit the folder of 40k. But don't get me wrong, I fucking love the orcs. Every time I hear something about the orcs, I just get a big stupid smile on my face.
Oh my God!
Go on, fire and move. For me.
Command, be advised the main blade has
I
been
need the beam
split.
has been.
Hell yeah. Hey, is that a tank over there?
Oh no!
Oh no. Yeah, I'm leaving. You guys got that one. There's a health bar for that. For that mother. Oh, he's dead. The health bar is gone.
What the fuck?
Oh god!
Okay.
Everyone.
What are you doing? No.
I'm recovering his gene seed.
You're taking his juice. Why is there a head?
Marinara must be harvested, Jay.
I just had the greatest fucking death of my life.
What happened?
I'm playing her harmonica and I was
Yep.
just doing this. And out of
Watch out for that rhino, everyone just jump past the rhino, leave it for themselves.
Well, that is some comedic timing.
Mackie! Mackie!
Hold still and let me touch you, brother.
Oh my goodness.
Have you considered?
Oh my God. I'm just gonna let that happen. Holy shit!
That's devastators.
My
Snow plug looking ass tank.
leg, you repaired.
Or not tank, that's an APC, I think.
Fire ahead.
Thank God.
For the 15th time.
It'll break again in like 2 minutes.
There's a lot of fire coming.
Holy mother of God! There is so many tracers. Oh, my leg is broken again.
Oh, nope, there is still.
Oh my goodness!
Southwest or something.
He's the last dude alive.
We have one survivor, boss.
I'm getting the fuck off this planet. Actually, no, sorry. I will serve the
That's
Emperor.
good.
That's huge of you.
You can say my friends, please.
They're all no, they're gonna die. I wonder what the artillery's gonna hit. Oh, here.
Already.
Medical support by the Royal Unit Brenda on the road.
Well, he tried, you know. Let everybody know by the will of Emperor he tried.
Hey, where's the there he is.
We did it.
Oh my goodness.
I must take his gene seed.
Oh, what about that guy's gene seed?
This is a healing stab. Don't worry about it.
They're very similar.
You don't know the energy.
Oh my God! Tech Marine, my leg is broken again. The same leg.
I just ran past one, damn it.
No, fix the leg. It's not my fault. They only shoot my leg. You're taking a gene seed in the middle of a bombardment. Oh my God!
Squad, stack up on the big fuck off door. Ah, damn it. Just that might have
I'm gonna ignore what I'm hearing in there.
I don't like what I hear. Come here.
It's Provel the Fallen. He's in there. Hey, there's a guy. Oh my God!
Oh my god, he's coming right towards me.
Okay, I was about to say that doesn't seem very lore accurate because I thought they're gonna demolish him in 3 seconds, but his health bar just stopped at the midpoint for some fucking reason.
I'm disassembled.
The leads are in here.
How many times we need to teach you
The
this?
fallen.
You can save him, right?
Come back.
Let's go with, yes.
Okay, so what you gonna do to save him? Oh! Oh no!
Are you gonna kill him?
I'm fixing him.
You're sure about that?
Yes, I'm. No.
I'm just gonna that may be heresy, but I'm just gonna say it. I don't think those field medics are quite qualified to do the thing they're doing.
Oh!
A damn shame.
Freaking shit,
Oh! They're dead!
Repair service gone.
My God. There's a demon hell portal over there.
Chaos abomination ahead.
I killed the big thing, brothers.
Man, how many fucking factions can fight for the toaster schematic on this one fuck off fringe ward? God damn.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
Oh, that's what you meant. Mainway.
I'm gonna hide.
I punched it. It didn't do anything.
Oh, where am I? Jesus Christ! Why is everything exploding? Where am I? Hey, the Beyblade's right there. Hey, ignore the tank. Can you repair my leg again? As long as that tank doesn't look directly at us and vaporize me, I should be good. Man.
This will take but
Ah! Why did you fall over dead?
I may have.
Sorry, that was. I have thorns too on my armor.
I don't like that.
What? Why are you? Where did you go? What the fuck? Wait, apothecary! I'm what?
The warp works in mysterious ways, brother.
Once again, oh yeah, I forgot there is a portal to hell over there. I still need my left leg repaired. Oh my god. Oh
fuck. That is actually terrifying image. Holy shit.
Oh.
I didn't know those things can fucking sprint. They usually don't sprint in any of the footage. In any of the games or animations I see. Holy fuck.
Oh. Okay, well that was I ceased to exist for a second. I'm gonna be real, I can't hear a word you're saying right now. Oh, Scorch is dead. Is that just a man? Is that a man right there? Holy shit! Oh. I'm out of ammo. I got no other. Oh my god! What the hell is that?
What the fuck is that sound?
Oh! Okay, I'm gonna...
Is there something even fucking bigger coming out of that portal? Come on. They can move very fast, usually they aren't depicted doing so. Holy shit, I think that's an Armiger, which is even faster. Jesus Christ. They definitely don't look like they can move that fast from like the model and the thing, but you know, that's... Space Marines also don't look... The Space Marines, when you look at them, they look bulky. You think about, I don't know, fucking Fallout or whatever, and you think to yourself, oh, they're slow or something, but fuck no, they're like lightning quick and have insane reflexes. So Warhammer definitely has that thing where a lot of things are unexpectedly fast.
Welcome back to.
We did it. We defeated Satan. Space Satan.
I guess that was the portal turning off.
It's the sound like victory. Go home.
Yeah.
It's just the sound of winning.
Your victory doesn't sound like a smoke alarm malfunction at 2 a.m. Like, that's what mine does. So like... Oh! I'm still alive. I'm not still alive.
Oh. Another Warhammer 40k video behind us, and I am no closer to understanding the fucking lore of this thing. But, you know, that will come in due time, I think. And this is sort of a case where the lore and the artists don't talk to each other, so lore say they move this fast, yet the artists make them look like a fridge. That is one possible explanation, I guess. Space Marines move so fast because their armor is literally drilled into their skin like it's a part of them. It certainly helps them stand out. The Space Marines. Space Marines are very special in that regard, that they are like specifically... Not even that their armor is fucking drilled into their skin. They are literally made to be a Space Marine, like genetically modified and shit. Like, they are not. They're essentially inhuman in nature, so. But just from the I mean, visual standpoint, when you look at them, you think, oh, that's a fridge, man. Maybe if it has like a jetpack or something. Nope, he's sprinting at me with a fucking chainsaw sword. I'm fucking dead in seconds. Yeah, my biggest hope for understanding like a lot of nuance behind 40k is playing Rogue Trader, because I did that little poll. I did that poll on what to play next after Mechanicus. Mechanicus also doesn't like feature like any lore essentially. You just get to look at some cool Necrons and some cool, Adeptus Mechanicus. But yeah, after Mechanicus, I'm gonna be playing Rogue Trader, and I'm assuming that has a lot more. That will show me a lot more of the world. If you wanna understand lore, watch Lutin. If you wanna laugh but get a lot of misinformation, watch Bricky. Yeah, I watched some Bricky lore. Probably should think about slapping some 40k lore thing into the watch later, maybe. Something I do like about the setting is that so many of the Space Marines even have defects. Space Marines are able to spit acid. However, there are a lot of chapters that, thanks to genetic defects, do not have the use of this organ anymore. Rogue Trader has a lore codex in the game. Yeah, that's what Rogue Trader has a lot of lore and easy access glossary, which can immediately be used in relevant conversations. It makes it very easy for a newcomer. Yeah, I think it was even you, Lich, who, like, we watched a Rogue Trader review live, and a lot of people in the chat were saying like, yeah, that it has this like really cool resource for learning the lore and the world, and I think that's gonna be like my best bet for me personally, to get a little bit more familiar with this setting, you know. A lot of, I don't know how fuck, I always forget what the elves are called in 40k. A lot of things about Warhammer for some reason don't feature a lot of the like Xeno races. Usually it's just, you know, humans and usually chaos on the other side of the conflict. Yeah, the Eldar. And I am really interested in, because Rogue Trader has, I think, a chapter of the game with Dark Elves, but yeah, I'm very curious to see like how many Xeno races make their appearance and how well they are represented, you know. Honestly, I find Rogue Trader to be a game I appreciate more the longer I think back on it. Yeah, some games grow on you, definitely. And like Rogue Trader, I think a lot of people said it's a very amazing game, brought down by some like really shitty annoyances that you only feel while playing. So like, I'm coming in after such a long time, after so many updates and fixes. I'm hoping like my experience will be a little bit easier, because I know at launch the game was really fucking buggy. Rogue Trader tries to feature a lot across the spectrum. There's an elder who is even a romanceable companion if you choose. God damn. And yeah, that was it for the Dark Angels played by idiots. Very accurate title. Arma Free Warhammer 40k by Rubik's Raptor. If you wanna check out his channel, I highly recommend it. He's fucking phenomenal content creator. Oh, he has something on Earth Defense Force. Earth Defense Force is extremely funny. Maybe I should consider checking that out. And moving on, we have Homeworld Desert of Karak review by none other than MandaloreGaming, obviously. I don't know if you played an Owlcat game before. I did not. I have like both the Pathfinder games on my to playlist, but still didn't get around to playing them. Man, lately I've been on a streak of really shitty games, playing really shitty games, and it took me out of playing through my backlog, which is very unfortunate. Let me see. Because I don't remember necessarily what I played. I obviously played Zinless Zone Zero because I did a whole ass review about that. Oh yeah, I played Lords of the Fallen, the one from 2023. That game is also so shit. Final Fantasy 16 was very middling. Like I am on a even before that, I played Hogwarts Legacy, which was also very mid on more of that okay side. And in between that, my only solace from my backlog was playing Signalis, which was fucking fantastic. But yeah, I have such a streak of misses when it comes to like lately choosing my games that I play. Holy. There are definitely things that gotta get into the indie scene for those gems. Yeah, I also have like fuck who we have on my to playlist. Actually, not that many. No, I still haven't played Ultra Kill. I bought it a while back. I heard Ultra Kill is fucking fantastic. I want to personally play through Omori to see how it is. The Talos Principle is like a puzzle thing. I love puzzles. I still never played the original Amnesia. I have some good shit in there to look forward to. And like obviously a AAA's like good AAA's that I know are gonna be good. I have like Baldur's Gate 3, Dragon Age Origins. I never played a Dragon Age game in my life. Yeah, like I said, Rogue Trader, the Pathfinder games, I know those are probably going to be good. So, and in the middle of that, I have Deadly Premonition because I was like, I gotta play it to completion. I played like 10 hours of that back in the day, and I was like, I am not mentally prepared to take any more of this. This is tearing me down as a person. But I really need to get back in there and play that because that game is so unintentionally hilarious. Actually, here's some suggestion. All the orc cutscenes in Dawn of War 2, somebody uploaded the cinematics as a cohesive storyline, so it's easy to follow across the whole thing and upload it in separate parts. It's one of my personal favorite stories because it perfectly balanced the horrific atrocities with orc pirate leader wants to steal a lady's hat, which is motivation for the whole game. I don't think I'm gonna do that because Dawn of War is also on my list, and like I'm moving right now, especially I'm moving slowly through it because there's a lot of stuff happening, but yeah, Dawn of War is also on that list, so I would probably enjoy it more if I consumed it as a as just a game, as a cohesive like continuation. So Deadly Premonition is still a personal favorite, even though it's not a good game. A lot of people say that. Did you play Hrot? It's a boomer shooter playing in Czechoslovakia, and the guy programmed it all in Pascal. That is. Hold on, I'm pulling up Steam to see that. Is it on Steam? Their campaign has so many gems, like the one flavor text on a gun says it cost me an arm and a leg. Good thing I have 2 of each. Oh hey, it's a very recent game. Looks a lot like this Hrot thing looks a lot like a lot like Dusk. The environments are so fucking similar, like even the colors. Holy, Dusk is a fucking great boomer shooter, so that's a good place to take it. I don't know if that's I don't know if that is on purpose, like if he was inspired by that. I'm so glad we hit the point where people are going back to style and gameplay over polygon count. Yeah, and there are so many games now where people said, fuck it, I will do it myself, just like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, where where people are like, you're sitting on this golden IP and you're not giving it to me. Fuck you, I'm gonna do it myself, bitch. And a lot of people are making their own sequels to things, which is great. But yeah, all of that aside, time for Homeward Desert of Karak. An interesting thing, I don't know what to expect from this, because this is clearly like a spin-off thing. It came so many years after Homeward 2. I think it came like 1 year after the remastered collection, so they were clearly riding off of that. I don't know how much to say had how much Gearbox had to say in this, but if they had a lot to say, I'm gonna assume it was bad. But yeah, let's take a look and see if it was good, somewhat middling, or like something so completely different you can't compare it to the originals. Okay, I'm gonna say something completely different because what the hell? That's not an... Okay, that's a fun animation. I'm sorry. I thought we are in the game. Cutscene. Oh man, that's a fucking fantastic fun animation. Holy shit. Man, the timing with me speaking about Mechanicus couldn't have been better, huh?
It's nearly Christmas, a perfect time for a game filled with sand. Deserts of
Yeah. Man, the Homeworld games went a very different direction with the visuals. Hey man, it's a spin-off. I've seen spin-offs do like crazier things than that pivot. The only Homeworld game I know about to get as mysterious as the druids. There is no way this is getting as mysterious as the druids. I hate Sand. It gets... I knew it, you fuck. I knew it. It's gonna... You're gonna follow it up with it gets everywhere.
Eric is a Homeworld spin-off game.
And it's so coarse, you know.
A prequel taking place before the space journey. This sounds like a strange move for a series whose gameplay is mainly known for its 3D space combat. Now our feet are firmly planted into the ground. The first game's story was something that could be translated into another setting with broad strokes, and this is kind of that. While you do get more out of it from having played the original game, it's not necessary. In fact, playing this beforehand could make going into the first...
It looks very good. Goddamn.
Homeworld blind a lot more impactful. Usually release order is the way to go with most games. But this is a rare case where I'm not sure which I would recommend first. Gameplay-wise it's simpler, but other games expand on these mechanics. You then go into them familiar with aspects like the Sensors Manager before full space combat. Also, since it's chronologically the beginning of the story, it doesn't rely on you knowing any greater context. At least in theory. If you have played the original, you'll understand a lot more of why the story is happening. But if you are a manual lore beard, you'll notice there have been some adjustments here and there to make it happen. So for the time being, I'll assume you haven't played other Homeworld games, or seen my previous videos. I'll compare some mechanics here and there, but I'll save the nitty-gritty for the spoiler section. Without context, it would mainly be nonsense anyways.
Kingdom Hearts 2 has screwed us again!
The story begins...
What the fuck?
...ends on the wasteland planet of Carrick. There are a few habitable zones across the world, and these shrink every year as the desert expands. One of the satellites from a northern faction detects a strange object deep in the harshest desert. It's emitting an absurd amount of energy, so an expedition is sent to investigate it. This ended up being a bit of a rush job, and everyone was assumed to have died horribly. So after some years of better planning, a second expedition is about to begin. There are many clans or kith in the northern...
See? The cutscene art style is wildly different. So, you know, wasn't that off with that intro.
Coalition, but this expedition is mainly led by Kith Sajet. Most notable is Chief Science Officer Rachel Sajet, whose brother Jacob died in the first trip. The anomaly could be the key to saving the planet, but there's no telling until you get there. The distance is so vast and the journey so obviously dangerous that a massive vehicle was designed for this trip, which is saying something since the land crawlers can be pretty damn big already. But for this they have created a heavily modified, mortal engine-sized land carrier, the Capisi. This will carry the smaller craft through harsher climates and has facilities to build or research even more. So after...
Man, I really fucking dig this art style. I kind of dislike the need to leave the planet by having the desert expand. I get why they did it, but it feels unnecessary. I guess, maybe, I don't know.
A brief driver's ed lesson, it's off to the desert to possibly save the world. However, not every clan is on board for this plan, especially the exiled Kith Galcian. These ghosts of the desert have somehow survived in its harshest regions and are furious at the intrusion. This isn't only a territorial issue, as the Galcian are religious zealots. They once fought and lost a religious war against Kith Sadim. Sadim is part of the Northern Coalition, which already adds more tension, but the Alliance as a whole has been pissing off the Galcian with their heresy. The god Sejuk is wrathful, and so are they.
For generations, you have violated the first commandment of our Creator. By entering into space, you seek the stars. Now you invade our lands for the second time. Diplomacy has failed. We can tolerate this no longer.
Oh man, that voice acting ain't landing, man. Holy! I love me futuristic aircraft carriers, by the way. Yeah, those vehicles looked cool as fuck, and on that backdrop of that endless desert, Kino.
The suffering of this war will be nothing compared to the wrath of Sejuk. Long live the people of Karak.
It'll be fine.
Is that supposed to sound threatening? Man, like, the voice acting in the two first games blows this... in the three first games, blows this shit out of the water.
Desert invasions always go well, and I think that about covers it for now. So let's talk about the graphics and...
Sometimes I have to wonder how they see out of those helmets. With faith, brother.
Some other strangeness. When it comes to art direction, there's a lot I like about the game. All the Coalition vehicles are industrial brick shithouses, but there's still a sleekness to them. You get the sense they were designed to be super utilitarian rather than anything pleasing in mind. Plus, any little greeble bits and pieces would likely be ripped off by Karak's hellish sandstorms. It does have that Supreme Commander effect where sometimes I forget the scale these things are operating at, where your light attack vehicle dune buggies are actually the size of a semi-truck, and your basic tank is roughly the size of a house. Hell, the shell casings alone might be big enough to qualify for a mortgage. They're more like heavy construction vehicles, and they might have started that way, hauling ore and other valuable materials from the unlivable parts of the desert to the habitable zones. The vehicles are huge, but generally built wide over tall. They're all about maximum stability, being wide enough not to be threatened by bumps in the road, but not tall enough that a huge sandstorm can knock them down. Even as new vehicles roll off the line in all kinds of different forms, they maintain this clean industrial look to them. They only start to break the mold a little bit later as they include Galcian technology into their arsenal. Unlike the Coalition, the Galcian have been in the deep desert for...
How come we stopped making movies that where big future vehicle needs to get us somewhere? Because where am I going to put like my fucking Chris Pratts and Robert Downey Jr.'s in there? They need to be the super magic human man. That ain't a superhero setting, so it's fucking worthless in modern cinema, okay? I think it's supposed to sound ethereal, but I agree. Yeah, the voice acting definitely like a step down, but you know, that was only a one cutscene. We'll see how it goes. Man, modern cinema being what it is today is... Yikes, a little bit of yikes, but that happens to any industry that is optimized to a certain point. You know, everybody just wants to make the thing that sells, and what sells is the same fucking garbage we have seen over like last 14 years. So like all you can do is wait for those movies to be less and less profitable until another popular genre emerges. With some like weird movies in between, like there are always directors that are willing to take bigger risks.
Generations. They've been scavenging some secrets out there too, as they're massively advanced. They don't need gigantic wheels or overlong tracks since they mastered anti-gravity. So in contrast, their craft is generally smaller but highly advanced, efficient, and nimble, which is exactly what you want when hit and run is at the center of your doctrine. While the Coalition units can physically look to be struggling moving through the sand, the Galcian have ascended beyond giving any shit about it. They move through the desert perfectly smoothly. Not only do the designs complement and contrast the factions fantastically, but just the way they move reinforces who's an outsider. Now, because of the scale of the vehicles and the landscape itself, it's not treated like conventional ground warfare. You're already operating out of a carrier, and the larger vehicles are referred to as cruisers. Carrick's Dune Sea really is its ocean, and besides being a way to add that extra lore and character into the game, it also ties it into the rest of the franchise, and the Sensors Manager feels right at home here. I mean, Homeworld has always had some top-tier vehicle designs, and this doesn't break that gold standard. They did great not only making all these vehicle designs, but properly integrating them into the world too. The physics of how they move around, the tracks left in the sand, the way the weapons can kick up soil and the particle effects of explosions. For a non-AAA RTS game, it can look pretty great at times. The biggest issues are technical ones. There are visual bugs that can happen often enough that it's worth a mention, and the frame rate can absolutely dive at points, and this has happened to me on a few PCs over many years now, so it's probably an engine issue. The anti-aliasing is also bad enough to be very noticeable, and the shadows can be blocky and flickering, especially in close-up cutscenes. You can't override or tweak these either, so you're stuck with it. It's especially disappointing when you compare the settings here with the Homeworld remaster, which, to be fair, it's a whole other engine, a completely different deal. However, in the remaster, you have all kinds of options for rebinding keys like most PC games, especially a strategy one. So it is downright bizarre you can't rebind any keys in Deserts of Karak. I've played some other RTS games that were way—
What? A game that you cannot rebind keys on fucking PC? That is bizarre to say the least. Haven't watched a cinema movie in 10 years, yeah. Looks like I'm late again. Oh, doesn't matter, man. Just, we're happy to have you join us, be it late or no. So, welcome to Karak. We got big land carriers and mechanicus bots. I'd forgotten about that. That's weird. Yeah.
Older that did this, so seeing this in a relatively recent one was a surprise. Though at this rate, if the game isn't actively trying to brick my PC, I think I can tolerate it. As for the cutscenes, they expanded to that painting look the remasters had. They're more colorful and the scenes can be physically with the characters more than they have been before, which isn't a whole ton, but they use a live-action conversion effect which can look awkward at points, but it still feels faithful. Honestly, that sentence alone sums up the whole game. Even with its drawbacks and shakier moments, it still plays and feels like a Homeworld title. This is especially noticeable in the audio. The Professionals Under Stress voice acting is back in full force, with some additional variations here and there. Units can be more detailed in calling out specifically what they're guarding or attacking. Beyond that, each unit has a lot of background audio chatter that'll play throughout the game, just like you'd expect.
Showing no hostile contacts at this time. Please confirm.
Real good copies. Checking. And all clear. Running assist check on assembly array again, just to be sure.
Operators, please confirm negative contacts in your area.
Just finishing his sweep. Yeah, all clear. Hostile strike craft down. Counter! Adjusting fire. Ready! Full speed! Target! Readjust!
Okay, so it really seems like it was that one cutscene that sounded kinda off. Like, yeah, this chatter is fucking stellar.
Rain fire on him! Sightline clear. Returning fire.
Once again, this layers perfectly into the battle soundscape, which already sounds great on its own when it comes to effects like weapons fire. They can even have different reverbing effects based on distance, and turning a nerd into a particle yet known as science has never sounded better.
Solid vicinity. Fire well.
The music also deserves special attention because, besides its variety, there is a ton of it. And sure, a lot of the tracks are very brief or parts that mix into other music dynamically, but there's also a good amount of music from previous games. Sometimes a little motif or flourish will creep its way in and can be easy to miss. Then there are times where a track can come in at full swing, which already sounds appropriate to the moment, but if you've played the previous games, the presence of these tracks can evoke a lot more in you. These are almost exclusively used when you're learning more about the greater story. The rest of the game is being carried by the new music, which is still being led by the original game's composer, Paul Ruskay. It's a combination of strings and traditional Indian instruments and vocals, and by far has the highest production value on display in the series. Except for yes, the remaster didn't get them back for some reason. The new music still has excellent variety and can be as bombastic or as tragic as ever. The easiest way I can put it is, the Mizmars have been unleashed.
Fire. Enemy armor disabled. Support crews are under attack.
Oh
Immediate
yeah, get them fucking in there. It's a desert setting, we need them in there.
Hostiles designated. Trackers assigned. Reposition. Enemy armor disabled. Ready. Armor vehicle taking effective fire. Fast attack pattern. Full speed. Hostile. Armored vehicle lost. Ready. Bring us around. Repair protocol active. Hostile strike craft down.
Receiving.
Armor sensors post is under fire. Go for range.
Control group 4 designated.
Alert. Rachel is in contact.
EMP. Fire.
Hostile armor eliminated.
It can become this strange blend of traditional instruments and synth and strings. It all comes together fantastically, and this game has some of my favorite music in the series now. There are some occasional
I
pops.
mean, that definitely sounds fucking goated with the sauce. The Galcian all sound weird. They had a direction in mind for them, and I'm not sure what it was. Yeah, maybe some... Yeah, probably just got lost in the sauce, in the direction. You're probably right. Because the quality of the voice acting and the voice actors themselves seem like they're doing a good job, so I don't know why that one cutscene sounded so stiff. The voice acting is honestly really good. Hell, Deserts of Karak is a good game in my book. Or maybe that is Homeward Free still fresh in my mind. I know just how bad things can get.
Crackles in the audio, but they're...
Man, it's so funny watching the... Okay, one part is really funny, but one part is like, I'm so fucking sorry for your loss. Just watching the Homeward community from a distance going through this phase, the world post Homeward Free. It's both funny and at the same time I am so fucking sorry for you guys. Imagine being so bad that the mid voice acting in all their entries legitimately made better retrospectively.
fairly rare. As for what was intended, I really only have good things to say. When it comes to mechanics, there's a lot more to get into.
Okay, we're going into a separate segment here, so let me just get up really quick and get myself something to drink, and I will be back in a second. What the fuck happened? Haven't looked into Homeward 3, but I'm getting the vibes that it's a big yikes moment, huh? That's a word for it. To avoid spoilers, tell me one bad moment out of context. Big woman. Ah yes, that cutscene. Big woman. Big woman TM. Humongous maiden. Large lass. Gigantic matriarch. What the fuck happened in Homeward 3, man? I mean, unit battle chatter is actually good in Homeward 3. It's more about the dialogue and story that surrounds it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Holy fuck. I wonder if this is how Vinny feels when he glances at the most insane out-of-pocket comments in his own chat. I think like any like big streamer, they're like obviously way bigger than this, has that thing of it just comes down to probability. You look at the chat, and when there is like 100 comments fucking in every 15 seconds, you will see some of the most out-of-pocket shit ever sometimes, and you just have to read it out loud. So like, god damn. Honestly, Homeward 3 might be remembered fondly if it released at greatly reduced price and with no story at all. Damn. For now we're chilling in the sun, you know, the sand is like nice under our feet. So yeah, let's keep going with Deserts of Karak, and you know, the bad times are ahead of us. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. The bad times will come when they come. But for now, the gigantic lady is out in the distance, T-posing, you know. And I don't have to look at her. I don't have to think about her, you know.
Outside of the tutorial, the game has 13 missions and 3 different difficulties. Classic for sure gives a decent challenge, and there have been times where I had to restart a mission a few times. For the most part, it's not overly brutal, and there's no dynamic difficulty like some other homeworlds had. Getting through it will mean needing to learn at least a few hotkeys and the in and outs of the game's tactics. Your fleet of vehicles will persist throughout the campaign, but from the main menu you can always load up a default fleet, which won't be ideal, but does save you from having to go back farther. As for the fleet itself, the carrier is both your headquarters and your most powerful unit, but you can't use its full potential all at once. See, the carrier is a resource drop-off point, it builds new units, it researches new stuff, your standard RTS affair. However, the carrier also has a power shunting system. You have a set energy supply that you can redirect to various onboard modules. You can increase the range of sensors and weapons, buff up the armor, activate repair beams, or use a combination, though the more power you have in a system, the more effective it'll be. There's also temperature to worry about, and unfortunately, Carrick is burning. If you overheat a
that's a very cool system where your ship can do it all, but you gotta choose. You can't have it all. The sun is nice indeed. Karak is burning. The bad times are beyond the sand dunes. You could say it's beyond the horizon, beyond the sea of stars, beyond the whatever the fuck happened in Homeward 2.
Module, you'll get the effect, but the carrier will take damage over time and eventually explode.
Not beyond the beast, because apparently the coolest part of the story is not canon, which is holy shit. That is such a shame, man.
You lose the carrier, you lose the game. Same goes for Rachel. As the campaign goes on, you'll get set improvements to your power and your cooling, but more treasures can be found by digging through the trash. The deep deserts of Carrick have mysterious shipwrecks among them. It's clear that salvaging and studying them are how the Galcian have become so advanced since they weren't pulling MIT degrees out of sandcastles. The Galcian revere and carefully study these relics. We don't have time for that shit. The Northern Coalition uses the gentle, archaeological touch of the Kool-Aid Man. The wrecks are violently exploded through a process called shipbreaking, scattering precious resources all over the ground and presumably sending some mummified corpses into deep space. Homeworld games previously only had one resource, and Deserts of Karak has two. The orange construction units, or CUs, which are your basic building block. The other are the blue resource units, or RUs, which have been in all the other games. In those, this is your one and only basic material for creating spacecraft, but here it's in a new context as rare and exotic elements. These ancient wrecks have many secrets to unlock, and saving that, their armor plating is much better than yours. This means your more powerful units and technology are going to require some. Your basic salvagers can pick them up all the same, it's just a matter of finding them. You can sometimes find them across the land without needing to shipbreak, but sometimes these wrecks will reveal an artifact. Not only can these buff up your carrier with additional power and stat bonuses,
I like how all of the Homeworld games, this one especially because you're on the ground, not in space, they have that feeling of like you're a Mongolian horde. Like, you don't build bases, you're always on the move. You just pick up shit along the way and slap it to your things, you know, you adapt with things that you find. That is very unique, I think, in Homeworld. I don't know, like, any other game that has this feeling of you're rolling through with this fucking army, you know, and that's just another place you visit. StarCraft 2, fucking story mission starts and it's like, build a base, you know, and then after you build a base, do this objective, and there is always some part of at least making a camp. But in this one, it's like you're always rolling, and there are incentives to keep going and pushing on, you know.
But they can improve just
very, very unique feeling, definitely. I would say.
About anything in the entire arsenal. Which ones drop and whether or not they drop does depend on some RNG. You won't get them all in a single campaign run, but they do persist just like your fleet does. The effects these have can be substantial enough to make you completely change up your tactics. Your basic
a hunter-gatherer nomadic space tribe. Yeah, exactly.
Tanks could cost less and be more survivable, or your aircraft can be faster and hit harder. Artifacts are a fun, neat little bit of variation that can mix up your playthroughs. As for the moment-to-moment fighting, they did try to make up for the lack of 3D space combat. Since the action is taking place on a 2D plane, they chose to make the terrain itself a big factor. Whether or not a unit can attack depends greatly on a clear line of sight. A unit being able to attack in an arc, even if it's a temporary ability, can be huge. If you do take the high ground, you not only have a clear line of sight, but you also get bonuses to damage and accuracy. It's kind of like the ground control series, but not quite that interesting or insane.
Yeah, no more burgers for the Terrans.
Not yet. Anyways, elevation being a factor does make the combat a lot more engaging. The endless dunes are also endless opportunities for ideal positioning. But advancing forward will inevitably put your troops into the low ground as well. The slow climb up a hill can make your units an easy mark for enemy artillery or aircraft or other surprises. There's also the fact that you could get a good high ground position on an enemy strike force, and then they flank you from an even taller hill. It's not a special zone you enter into, you need to be thinking relative.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking relative. I was thinking relative again. Yeah, I was thinking relative. Yeah, I keep thinking relative.
Smart positioning.
Homeworld 3 is truly that bad. Take the option most fans take and pretend the bad canonical sequel doesn't exist, or less extremely pretend it's non-canon. I mean, yeah, but if they make a sequel, they will have to address like this. They will have to address that this is indeed canon, you know. But to be fair, they could just say, "Oh, that was a fucking nightmare the Capitan had," or something. A vision of a distorted future, the artifact shown him, whatever. They could go that way, but that takes balls. And if you take that route, you need to make sure the game that the non-canonization is in actually has a stronger story, which, you know, can be quite an obstacle. Oh man, ground control. Another interesting obscure strategy which I absolutely adore. The only way to counter the higher ground. Yeah, ground control I have not heard about ever. I like how the tanks can start flying into the air as you drive up a hill at speed, but if you tell them to stop, they freeze me there and fall directly down.
Rewards you with victories in battle and seeing your vehicles do mad hops over the hills. Speaking of
Yeah.
them, compared to Homeworld proper, they are a simplified roster. There's some rock, paper, scissors with the core vehicles, and also some outlier units and factors to take into account, because ultimately, nothing can parry the carrier launching a cruise missile. Light attack vehicles are the fast movers that can kill and harass enemy salvagers and just get some damage on the board. The armored assault vehicle tanks can absolutely rip the LAVs.
The typical fucking Zerg units, you know, the quick-moving harassers.
To shreds. In turn, the tanks are weak to the long-range railguns. Then, the LAVs are fast and agile enough that they could get under the slow tracking of the railguns and beat them to death up close. You throw in your various air units, you have anti-air options, and then your variety of cruisers meant to obliterate anything smaller. I am oversimplifying it, but you're working with about a dozen unit types, including the carrier. More emphasis is put on individual unit tactics. Almost every unit has at least an active ability or two, whether it's tanks popping smoke to block line of sight, the LAV's speed boost, and all other kinds of tools you unlock through research. This is pushed even further by unit veterancy having multiple tiers with all kinds of effects. A battle in Homeworld could go partially on autopilot while you bounce around the sensors menu controlling different fronts. Here, small scale engagement is the name of the game. You can't just assign some guys to a support cruiser and send them off. The repair range is much shorter than the space equivalent, and the AI isn't as well behaved. You have lots of abilities to cast and positions to move to, so you're not babysitting them needlessly, but the smaller scale makes it a more tactics-focused game. Even the signature unit capturing is reduced down to one at a time. Rachel can hack a unit that can return to the carrier with a long cooldown and for a resource cost. This can be annoying when I'm trying to collect all the honor guards, but that's the price you pay. While I don't mind the scaling down, besides the rebindable keys, it's missing a lot of quality of life features that Homeworld had. Like just being able to see my fleet composition easily at a glance. And while the action is scaled down, ironically, I feel a lot less in control. There are no formations and not much in the way of unit stances. That and this is one of those games where the pathfinding can get stuck in an obstacle. It's still fun to play and really sathing to pull off a good flank or a combined arms maneuver, but I do feel a disconnect and
that's so fucking cool. Like the way those buggies just fly off hill. That is so satisfying, man.
Off a good flank or a combined arms maneuver, but I do feel a disconnect and less responsiveness from my forces that I didn't have in the previous games. It's overall a smooth ride, but I can feel some clunk.
The archaeological data alone would keep our scientists busy for years. I would give anything to meet the people who engineered this technology.
Talking vaguely about the story, there is something to be said about how the missions are structured. The expedition into the unknown is a template they're carrying over from Homeworld. Except how this is carried out more resembles Homeworld 2, which is largely a war story. You're crossing over absolute oceans of sands and history. And with the exception of a single mission, you are always fighting the Gaussian. Beyond, you know, a lack of variety, this also makes the game lack scale. Crossing a large continent or, hell, a large country, imagine how many cultures you'd come across. In Homeworld, you fight raiders and empires, religious zealots, ancient anomalies, and sometimes just the hazards of the environment itself. This keeps things fresh and actually gives you the feeling of discovering new places. While you do get a few kinds of desert, fighting the Gaussian over and over makes it feel so small. There's a mission where tornadoes are a map hazard, but they're not the primary threat. And this is taking place in an area with millennia of crashed ships. You could do all kinds of stuff with this. There could be a weird insulated survivor culture in one of the wrecks. Maybe one of these was carrying drones or bioweapons or some kind of other science experiment. Even forgetting the wrecks, how about a group of raiders around a reservoir? Maybe there are Soban mercenary breakoffs, just anything. I guess my point is, when Odysseus got lost at sea, he didn't keep landing on an island with a Cyclops. What missions you do get are your RTS regulars. There are some that take advantage of all the game's mechanics and give you a lot of options, but not nearly enough, and it's already short for a strategy game. It could have benefited from some short, simple missions that also help with that scale. Like, maybe there's a massive sandstorm and the Capisi has to travel through a dangerous ravine with enemies in the cliffside. The issue now is the number of mechanics outrun the missions. This is most noticeable when Mission 10 just dumps research on you. Brand new vehicles and abilities for them, abilities for what you have already. It's so abrupt I can't shake the sense more was planned. As for the writing itself, it does try to set up a lot which won't pay off until the other games. The greater implications they add to the story are interesting and sometimes confusing. A lot of the character drama does fall flat to me, and we've run into another old issue. Homeworld and Cataclysm had wonderful manuals, but you didn't need to read them to enjoy the game. Homeworld 2's manual was brief about the lore, but it had a 30-page PDF on the CD. This gives a lot of context that really needed to be in the game properly, but even with it, it's still a messy story. This time around, we have a fully interactive expedition guide, and it keeps up that spirit of being in the setting. As usual, there's lots of cool stuff here. You can learn about the history and culture of the planet and the Kith. There's an interactive map of the planet and expedition.
Ooh. That's actually really fucking cool.
A timeline, a viewer of all the vehicles in the game, and lots of behind-the-scenes stuff. Maybe most importantly, Rachel Sajette has a lot of character history and development here that's only vaguely hinted at in the game, or reveals that could have come up in the game but instead are meaningless. Like, the second expedition was launched early just to distract the Galcian. This could have been twisted even more, like maybe finding the object was the Capisi's secondary objective, and the real one was wiping out Galcian leadership. This could have given Rachel and the others some interesting conflict, and made it stand out from the one-purpose journey from Homeworld 1. The expedition guide has good story elements, they just don't show up in the actual story. But the worst part is, this isn't something you access from the main menu, it's a separate program that you pay for. When it's not on sale, the manual costs you $6, which is a gearbox of an idea. If this was in the main menu, it would—
What the fuck? Man, he said it correctly. That is a fucking gearbox idea, if I ever seen one. One second. The most Gearbox thing to ever Gearbox from Gearbox. Ah, here we go. Greasy Randy sticking his hands where he shouldn't once again. Hey man, somebody's gotta pay for that barely legal porn that Randy keeps buying and putting on his work USB drives, you know. Randy needs his money for his, how did he say it? I forgot the exact words, but the way he described what he had on his drive was both bizarre and truly funny. Never truly seen how Gearbox went from Blue Shift about that beer I owed you to this. Same way fucking Bungie went from making Halo to laying off 40% of their workforce while their CEOs are buying fucking luxury vintage cars. It just comes with the growth, man. It just comes with the growth. At some point, any company will turn into that, which is a shame. Like, even I think nowadays we even see that with Valve, which is the one that truly gets me, because Valve that truly gets me, because they're not at that point with like laying off a bunch of people. They're not at that point, but you can see that they're not the Valve that we once knew, you know, with all of that Team Fortress shit going on, with them like lagging behind the competition, like they're making a fucking hero shooter now. Man, the Valve I know would never like would never go into a competition like as a fucking 10th person to get there. They were always ahead of the curve. What was that company that made the SCP-like game we talked about last stream? Didn't they go from making really cool games to mobile like trash? Lobotomy Corporation. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like Limbus Company, which is the gacha game they made, the mobile gacha game, it still has a strong story, but the problem is that they made so much money on the gacha elements that they will never go back to making like a normal game. So yeah, when you discover what works in an industry and you get to a certain size, you just become you just fucking become this, unfortunately. Revolutionary games and sequels to Bot Endemics and Deadlock. Even like before, even like a couple years ago, there were already some like really weird moves from Valve that people kinda brushed off as one, as just some errors or something. I mean, they fucking released Artifact, man. They fucking released Artifact. What the fuck were they smoking with that? Remember when Valve used to make games and not rake in money hosting a game service like Dragon in a Fairy Tale? True. But the thing is, I wouldn't even when they stopped releasing games, I truly didn't hold it against them. I was like, okay, they gave us Steam, they can do whatever the fuck they want, right? But the thing is, they refuse to upkeep their games like Team Fortress and like Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike 2 is fucking pitiful, man. Holy shit, the worst release of a Counter-Strike I have ever seen. I forgot about Artifact. Everybody forgets about Artifact. I don't blame you. But like, yeah, now Valve are refusing to upkeep and update the games that fucking made them, which is truly a shame, man, to see them not give a fuck about, like, yeah, Team Fortress, Counter-Strike getting barely any updates. Jesus Christ, people were so hyped for Counter-Strike 2 because they thought we're gonna get new maps, new modes, whatever. Like, people, oh, here's the second wind coming, and they just, yeah. I do remember how Artifact Twitch category was used for everything except Artifact. Oh yeah, I caught some fucking great movies on the Artifact category on Twitch, man. Shit was wild. Back to gearboxing the Homeworld series, huh?
Not only be well received, it would have also gotten people more interested in the Homeworld franchise. Someone could have read it and then went out and bought more of your games. Instead, it's an obscure application that they want people to pay for, which is beyond stupid to me. To give some consolation, this doesn't magically make the game's story better. It gives an explanation for some strange events, but not a whole lot of depth. I'm getting into spoilers now, so if you don't want those, go to here. Okay, first let me get this out of the way. For me, a lot of the mysticism of Homeworld was carried by them finding a single ship in the desert saying that they weren't alone and this wasn't their home. Their exile was so far and their punishment so severe that no one else came to check in on them, besides the Tidan just paying off some raiders to monitor the system. Now that a large part of Carrick is essentially the Space Bermuda Triangle, that seems a lot less special now. Anyway, here are the broad strokes. After the Capesies launched the Galcian attack, they destroy the base it came from and many others, they lay siege to the Northern Coalition capital. It's not like everyone behind you is completely dead, but it seems to want to capture that tone. You're also not completely alone because a Kith Sadim carrier also escaped. They're always out to murder the Galcian anyways, and they flank you on your journey. There are several missions where you battle side by side, you directly save their carrier, and they prove themselves to be a valuable ally. Again, this also makes the campaign feel more like a war instead of an adventure. On discovering the carcass of the first expedition's carrier, Rachel's brother, the first officer Jacob, has been alive longer than she thought. He was on the path to finding something which isn't clear, but there are clues. While there are wrecks that clearly plummeted down onto the surface, not all of them are this way. Some of them are in nearly pristine condition or entombed inside of solid rock. They couldn't have possibly crashed here, they materialized here. Why this is happening is never actually said directly. What is clear is that this is once again the work of one of those magical hyperspace cores. Its energy is so powerful that it was affecting ships passing by in orbit, either causing their hyperdrives to malfunction and rematerialize inside the planet, or it simply pulled them down to get bonked. Whether it was rigged to do this before the exile, or it's malfunctioning, or the will of Sejuk, it's not known. Jacob was captured by the Galcian, but he learned about the core's most notable victim. It's a Tidan carrier, but due to the lack of information they have, they just think the carrier was called the Tidan. While the Galcian were picking through the wreckage with reverence, there were some things they simply didn't understand. One of these being the trigger for a powerful weapon, which Jacob yoinked before escaping. The Galcian believe the object site, the Kartoba, will allow their leader to rule the world if he simply enters it. Sadly, the Galcian are having trouble with this.
Oh my god.
The Tidan had partially fulfilled the mission.
The ID transponder signal originated from a wreck. A military capital ship that seems to be named Tidan. The Tidan deployed the orbital weapon, then suffered the same fate as the other wrecks, crashing to the surface before the weapon could be enabled. Escaping the Galcian base, Jacob crossed the wastelands and located the Tidan. Coupled with a transponder hidden aboard this ship, he used the trigger to arm the weapon. But without adequate food, water, or protection, he died here, alone.
This reveal makes the Tidan bigger bastards than they already were. On a galactic level, the satellite is a pretty small weapon, but when they deployed it earlier in Carrick history, it was likely a way to sneakily exterminate the people. So you need to retrieve the transponder to not be zapped from orbit, but you and the Sadim stop for an aerial resupply at the last landing strip for thousands of miles. It's the final stretch of the journey.
To our coalition brothers and sisters, you have inflicted great devastation upon the Galcian scum. For that, we applaud your bravery. We will not forget your sacrifice. But our time of ascension is at hand. Only the Sadim and our Kithsa are...
I fucking knew it the moment he said that you fight side by side with them and that you save their capital ship directly. I knew there's gonna be a heel turn in there, man. Something funny about the phrase magic hyperspace core. Yeah. I mean, this is a twist that is so easy to see, but it doesn't take away that it's kinda cool, you know, like the dude you were fighting alongside, like you got a fight because of the conflict of interest. Still kind of a cool, you know, thing to have.
Only we can claim the bounty that lies at the heart of this desert. The first city and its secrets belong to us, and us alone.
This cutscene is executed and framed gorgeously, but what? The few bits of history I told you about the Siddim were all from the Expedition Guide. The gritty details are that the Galcian believe that people were placed on Carrick by Sejuk purely to suffer. Venturing into space is escaping his divine punishment, so it's heretical. As for the Siddim, they believe their bloodline is divine. They alone are descended from God, and everyone else is a native of the planet. Their history is filled with brutal examples of their caste system and how they treat any non-Siddim clan. The game itself has a character going, "Those Siddim sure are stuck up." In context, this is like someone saying, "Yeah, apartheid was kind of lame."
Okay.
Without that context, this seems completely out of...
This is like the joke, Gandalf, "Oh no, Sauron's back! I better go tell Sauron, man, he will help. I mean, Saruman!"
nowhere, and even with it, it still falls flat. It comes across like an excuse to give you something else to fight, even if it's for just a single mission. You fight with the Siddim for control of the transponder, and the way forward to the anomaly. The mission has one of my favorite music pieces in the game, but there's not much behind it. The mission itself is a lot of fun, squaring off against a similar near-mirror carrier force inside of a death valley. The betrayal is so...
Like I said, like the betrayal and the rivalry thing is... it works in every single fucking game that it has ever been in, but yeah, like... When it comes to... You also... For it to make sense as a story, you have to make it make sense in accordance with the story, man. You can't just have it out of the fucking blue. Or rather, like in this case, it's like... It's a clan that thinks you're subhumans. What do you think is gonna happen? Oh no, they betrayed us. That is so crazy, man. Holy...
abrupt and cold after everything you went through that even if it makes sense canonically, it still comes across as underwhelming and not developed, especially since the game itself won't give you that context. On the other side...
But it's not the worst. It's by far not the worst plot twist I have ever seen, so, you know.
The Galcian have a lot more going on, which is appropriate since you see them most of the game. The details may be off, but the origin and tenets of their religion are completely correct. The truth that echoed through the ages is that the people were placed there as punishment. If they try to defy this, all will be destroyed from the heavens. This will be exactly what happens. It is similar to Homeworld 2, where a hard truth becomes magic, religion, and prophecy over time, but here it's a lot stronger because you know exactly what they're referring to. If you haven't played the original game and do after this, you see the planet you fought across get completely melted and learn that the Galcian were right. So there's an underlying tragedy to the whole campaign, but it does undercut itself slightly. They establish the fact the desert is spreading and life might not be sustainable here in a few hundred years. Making it a doomed world cuts out the Galcian idea that they can settle there forever. At the same time, the Galcian are your enemy, and they want to sit there and accept punishment for events they had nothing to do with. Still, when you reach the Kartoba site and face off against them, it is for the fate of the planet. They've come with all their might and their flagship, which absolutely pukes out units on classic difficulty, by the way.
Galcian air units inbound.
In your final victory, even if you don't know what's coming, it still ends on a tragic note.
Seek his forgiveness before it is too late. Step into his light and be absolved.
The final note is appropriately hopeful. Taken by itself, not much is revealed. All the wrecks they find do...
Now I understand what you meant. Now I understand what you meant when you said you're not a fan of the the desert is expanding plot. I do agree with you and Mandalore that this does undercut like their whole we can't go to space like religious doctrine. Hey, why are you shooting at us now, man? You spilled the coffee. Fighting new enemies similar to you would have made this work better if the war was so bad you were scavenging each other's stuff and the Galcian had to jury-rig equipment from the other cave they killed. Yeah, it would have been more interesting if they got there and suddenly realized there are enough supplies to get one group to the place, you know, and the other group is essentially, because they are both running low on resources or whatever, there is also no way to go back. Neither is there like really a thing to go back to. I don't think this is gonna end peacefully, no matter like what our relationship is. The survival instinct is gonna kick in. We will fight over these resources, and you just resign to that fate, and you fucking square off against each other, you know. Dying in an artillery strike is still better than, you know, trek across the fucking desert, dying of hunger and whatever. So, like, if that was the case, that would have been like way more better way to handle that story bit, I think. Don't worry, Homeworld 3 easily surpassed this. Oh man, I kinda, I don't doubt that for some reason. Of course, their airship is a TARDIS. It's bigger on the inside. They have a Dyson sphere in there. It makes it seem like you had to go to space and a tragedy was going to happen either way. I feel it's more impactful if you never knew what was waiting for you when you did step out into space. And you could have stayed on the planet. Yeah, that part definitely kinda undercuts itself. It's still a good story though. It's way better than I expected. I thought it's already going to be something like regrettable.
Better explain how they're able to go toe-to-toe.
But nope, this fits perfectly with other Homeworlds, honestly.
With other ships when they do go into the stars. But the Kartoba itself, and later bringing in the hyperspace core idea, seem to do that already. This also opens up a bunch of little lore nitpicks that I won't get into, but it does a good job setting up concepts for later games that you would only find in the manuals, even if you still need those and there isn't much to the interpersonal stories here. After that, you can play around in the skirmish modes. For multiplayer, there are dedicated Discord groups, but overall it's pretty quiet. This is also where you'll find the game's DLC factions, the Soban, which are a remix of the Coalition, and the Knef, which are a remix of the Galcian. These came out shortly after launch, and man, I wish they were integrated into the main campaign. The vehicles and tech are slight remixes of the usual suspects, and the carriers have new powers and systems to play with. If you're not invested in the skirmish modes, these packs are skippable. Skirmish doesn't have a lot of maps, and only one game mode beyond the Annihilations. You'll either become super invested in this, or bounce off hard like most people do after the campaign. It can be fun, but I've never been tempted to boot up this game again for skirmish like I have with some other RTS games. For me, it gets repetitive too fast, and even with DLC packs, there's just not enough variety to really carry it. As for the main game, it'll be 90% off on GOG for a while in the pinned link. I think Deserts of Carrick is a good game, but I can't help but imagine how great it could be if it just had more time. The art design and music and tone, it's all there and fantastic. The gameplay is there too with solid ideas, it just felt like it needed more polishing beyond just all the bugs. Even with the shortcomings, it is a proper Homeworld game. If you never tried or liked those because they were too intimidating, you might like this one a lot, and could find them easier to understand after playing the ground game. It's rare to have a prequel where mechanics are simplified, but in a way that flows better into the games that came before. They expanded on some elements to make it engaging, but not overwhelming. It could have been better, but a space game managing to successfully shift like this is impressive. If you're new to RTS games, or like Homeworld a lot, there are plenty of good reasons to check it out. All I know is we need more giant landcrawler games. The imagery of these capture my imagination. Well, have a great holiday season, and consider watching the greatest Christmas movie ever made, Batman. Don't let that cover fool you. This is not a joke. This movie is high art.
What kind of toys are we making, sir?
Not toys, miss. Control panels for America's Eagle of the Sky. Our FJ-63 fighter jets.
What the fuck? I never heard about that movie, but...
That would answer more, and then I went back and played the game, Homely Fear. The same Dwarf Fortress Fear, actually. Games that you sit down to play for an hour, and then the sun is coming up, are so dangerous. I don't know what that expansion will have, but I'm sure it'll ruin me. Okay, I'll see you next time.
It's still a fun story. My feelings don't ruin it for me at all. It's fine. Yeah, it seems like the overall feelings about that game are yeah, it's kinda okay. And after Homeward 3 came out, everybody is like, could have been way fucking worse. So, damn. Damn. God damn. So yeah, that was Homeward Desert of Karak review by MandaloreGaming. Quite a journey, but we made it here, boys. And let's see what's else in store for us, shall we?
Happy birthday.
Speaking of movies, we have Independence Day, an American Disaster by Pointless Hub, which is a channel that has been requested. It's a channel that has been requested. Let me see. By some people, and the channel itself was requested. I just picked the some random video, and I was like, you know what, Independence Day. Watched it back in the day. I think everybody saw Independence Day at some point in their life, and I remember I saw it so long ago, man. And I was like, yeah, I saw this title and I was like, was it a disaster, or maybe I'm not getting the title? So I was like, yeah, let's check it out. And basically that's what happened before I landed here. For now, I'm gonna stay here on the right hand side and see if this is better for this video, but we might need to tweak this. So yeah, let's go. Let's go in there and see.
Day, America. It's just the neighbors setting off fireworks. Day After Tomorrow, 2012, Moonfall, Godzilla, some of my favorite movies of all time.
Isn't Moonfall what?
All of them are pretty trash. Favorite movie?
Yeah, I was about to say Moonfall. Isn't fucking Moonfall terrible? 2012. It's not that bad, right? I remember watching it when I was so young that I used to play with my toy jet while they flew around in the movie. Good times. God damn. Guilty pleasures, yeah. Moonfall, I know Moonfall is unironically fucking terrible, but in a very fun way. Moonfall is the best Halo movie. So bad it's good, apparently. Moonfall is objectively awful. Yeah, but awful in a way that Deadly Premonition is. Yeah, exactly. It's so hilarious and fun, though. But I don't think like Moonfall belongs to like next to these movies, because these movies at least had something, I think. Like some scenes out of 2012 are actual kino, like the fucking effects in some of those scenes were insane, even though there was some like the plot was all over the place.
Of all time, all of them are pretty trash.
There's something pulling us apart.
If you didn't know by now, I enjoy Roland Emmerich disaster movies. Kinda like you enjoy a double cheeseburger from McDonald's. Is it made out of quality beef? Cooked to medium rare? Never in your wildest dreams. But it is still technically a burger. A McDonald's
Moonfall has a hilarious scene where they use the moon's gravity to lift a tree, yet it doesn't lift the humans on the top of the tree. What the fuck?
Double cheeseburger, and sometimes you just crave a double cheese. Not because it tastes like a quality burger or anything, but because it tastes like a double cheese. MSG infused and all. Now I think about it, maybe this isn't the best analogy. Double cheeseburgers are consistently mediocre across the world. Go anywhere, and you'll probably get similar quality. Not with Emmerich movies, though. Sometimes they're just plain bad. Okay, most of the time. The reason I enjoy them kind of differs from film to film. Like, I like Moonfall in a much more ironic way than I like Day After Tomorrow, or hell, 2012.
Yeah, that's why I said they don't seem like they belong to each other, like next to each other, rather.
But of all the Roland Emmerich movies, there's one I love above the rest. The original that started it all, Independence Day.
Fucking classic, man.
Welcome to Earth. Independence Day is by far Roland Emmerich's most popular film. He may have had others before, and others after, but nothing connected with the general audience more than this titan of cliches and peak 90s stupidity. When I say titan, I mean it. This was the 4th highest grossing movie of the entire 1990s. Among films like Titanic, Lion King, and Jurassic Park was this. All of these movies...
What? Okay, that specific scene I don't remember. That dog is dead, man! What do you mean? He's fucking dead! He's cooked! Chat, he's cooked! And yeah, I was about to say, first of all, fucking Stargate. Oh man, that's a movie and a half. And second of all, man, the 90s had some fucking bangers, didn't they? Holy.
Went on to define film history, where they're still talked about to this day. And then there's Independence Day, once the 2nd highest grossing film of all time. But now, in 2024, it's barely mentioned, only to be...
Sure, it's barely mentioned, but everybody still remembers it, you know? And I think, like... I think people look more fondly at Independence Day, for example, rather than Cameron's Avatar, for example, you know, which was also in that same ballpark. Avatar was the highest grossing movie of all time, and it had like zero cultural fucking impact, because it was like, yeah, the movie is pretty. That's it, pretty much. Like, some movies just don't have that much cultural impact, you know?
Be remembered by those who were dumb kids in the early 2000s. Dumb kids who thought that this movie was the greatest thing ever. And if you know this channel, you know that dumb kid was me. I loved Independence.
I mean, he's calling me out because I saw it as a kid and I don't exactly remember it, but yeah. Avatar came and went and I forget it happened every now and then. And then another Avatar came out and it's... Like, man, I watched Way of the Water a couple weeks ago. It's a movie, alright. And there will be fucking 3 more. I can't believe there will be 3 more Avatars. Holy fuck. About what, man?
Independence Day.
Time's up.
When I was 8, this was the movie. It had everything. Aliens. Explosions. That was it. It was what got me into disaster films. Cursed me with a soft spot for all Roland Emmerich cheesiness.
Isn't there... What? Isn't there an Independence Day video game? No shot there is a video game based on that. No shot. At least I don't seem to recall. I love shitty, like, games based on movies. Holy fuck.
When people talk about kids liking dumb things and not seeing the flaws, Independence Day pops into my head. I didn't know this was considered a trash film, peak Hollywood garbage. I thought the alien ships were cool. and the president was badass. I still think the president is badass.
Let's nuke the bastards.
In fact, I still think a lot about this film is great. There's a lot wrong with it for sure, but I still like it, you know? I don't know if it's because of nostalgia or not. Not just nostalgia because I was a little goober who had an undeveloped frontal lobe, but nostalgia for this type of film in general. Hollywood trash. But like, 90s Hollywood trash. Because you know what's worse than 90s Hollywood trash?
Avatar does have hilarious things on rewatch though, like how human base, which is on a planet with poisonous air, does not have airlocks. For PlayStation 1, holy shit. Yeah, I didn't know that too. Also, like in Avatar Way of the Water, it's revealed that the humans want to build a colony on Pandora because the Earth is dying. Bitch, do you have no better options other than literally a planet with air that is poisonous to you? Like, what the fuck? Okay, wait a second. Independence Day video game. Oh, it's a flight simulator. Oh, that sucks. I thought it's like one of those like really shitty action games, you know, kind of like fucking. Jesus, what is that game with Snoop Dogg called? I forgot. They forgot about the unobtainium that was keeping the planet alive last movie. Now that you say it like that, geez, good visuals, but Dunbar's plot. Yeah.
2010's Hollywood trash. What if we weren't alone in the universe, but we sure wished we were? That's the premise of Independence Day. Aliens exist and they sure do suck. Right before the 4th of July, an alien mothership arrives outside Earth and sends city-sized ships down to hover over every important landmark you can think of. As flawed as Independence Day is, I would say it has a certain cheesy Hollywood magic.
I have got to get me one of these!
And it's a magic that Roland has tried to recapture with every disaster flick since. Or maybe he just likes recycling ideas. Either one. Large cast of various characters from different locations. Large-scale destruction that obliterates cities. The mandatory my god moment. My god. It's kind of funny because these aren't even signature Emmerich tropes. They're just Hollywood cliches. He didn't even invent them, but he is certainly one of the last still using them. There used to be a time where I'd watch this movie every 4th of July, up until I was like 16 or something. After that I would watch it from time to time, but then I just kinda stopped. It's probably been like 6 years since I last saw it. So how is Independence Day after all these years? Oh, it's garbage, but I love it. Things can be enjoyable when—
That is a very slow-moving fireball, by the way. 50 Cent, blood on his hand. No, there was like there was an open world, like, detective game, GTA clone type of deal, where you played fucking Snoop Dogg. Was it like Streets of LA or something like that? I think that was the subtitle. True crime is the game I was thinking about. I thought it like that, and Independence Day game you talked about is like very junky, you know, fucking combat. You run around as Will Smith punching aliens or something, like in a shitty GTA ripoff. Man, if if that's how the game was, oh man, I would love to play something like that. Like I said, I love those shitty like movie tie-in games.
Whether I like them ironically or unironically. But in between these two zones, there's another place. The zone of it sucks, but I like it anyway. That's where Independence Day is. Independence Day has flaws, but those flaws are also its strengths. It would not be what it was without them. And I think first and foremost, it's thanks to the overall vibe. Independence Day has been described as a 1950s movie masked in 1990s Hollywood, and I don't think I can agree with that. Ever watch an old 1950s alien movie? It's 90% guys talking in rooms, then a bad costume shows up. The only way this is really similar is that aliens invade. And also, it's kind of bad.
Well, I got it right here, yeah!
Not everything has to be an homage or a reference, even if the movie tries. It can just be dated, even at the time of release. Cheese can be good. Just like a pizza, it's a
Streets of Rage? No. Streets of Rage is a completely different thing. Wait.
You go,
Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Hold on, give me a second. Let me cook. Like, for some reason, Snoop Dogg was just a fucking playable character in this detective open world game.
Don't trip. Now beat it.
And he was fucking fully voice acted. Like, why the fuck did they do that?
Move, bitch. Get out the way.
And the game is extremely shit, but it has its charm.
Are you some kind of troublemaker?
What you wanna mess with a nigga like me for? I'm a crazy motherfucker.
Man, this looks like a shitty mobile game of today.
Trembling with fear. No? Oh, well you should be. Quick cap. Yeah. Clink. Bang.
And like, he's a character that doesn't appear in the story at all. I don't get it. I don't get this camel. Is it like the Scarface game where it's actually really good, or is it a ripoff? It's kind of in between. Like, the story actually has its moments, and like you actually have to, as the main protagonist, not Snoop Dogg, you actually have to solve crimes, and if you do too much damage, it leads you to bad endings, and the bad endings have a few variations depending on when did you fail in the story. It's a very, very interesting system with like 10 outcomes for the whole story. It's really, really cool. And like, supposedly the hand-to-hand in that game was really good. So imagine Sleeping Dogs, but very shitty. Like, it had its moments, but...
Player in itself. And Independence Day is that big triple cheese from Pizza Hut. I'm using a lot of food analogies. Don't write while hungry. A big part of this movie's aura is just how sincere it tries to be. Every shot is a momentous occasion, the biggest thing that's ever happened. And it's all absolutely carried by that bombastic music score. This movie's soundtrack is full of the most swelling, inspirational music I've ever heard, and that helps cement this movie in the nostalgia of whatever dumb kids were watching it. If Independence Day is anything, it is absolutely peak 90s Americana.
Yeah.
Not the 1990s as they were, or even the 90s in pop culture, but the 1990s as we today kind of perceive them to be. This movie kind of absorbed itself into our idea of a simpler time. A time after the Persian Gulf War and fall of the Soviets, but before, well, everything else. And that post-Persian Gulf energy is soaked into this movie. Like, the president himself was a fighter pilot in the Gulf War. But that peak America energy isn't what makes the film. No, it's the corniness.
I better call my housekeeper. I gotta call my lawyer. Forget my lawyer.
The dumb bombastic energy that made Ebert and Siskel hate this movie has over the years shaped its lasting legacy. Independence Day has kind of morphed into something the filmmakers never intended. A time capsule that...
That's a very interesting way to look at it, to be honest. The music is genuinely awesome. I don't remember, but I'm gonna take your word for it, because a lot of movies in the 90s, like, had just the fucking best score you ever heard for no reason.
Many just feel existed, like an emotion. What I'm getting at here is that with enough time, stupid and cheesy can become simple and charming.
Night 3, pull up! Calls have showing complete failure in the stairs! Pull up!
This should be a lot darker of a situation than it really is.
Hold me.
Like humanity is about to be wiped off the map, but at the same time, the overall tone is schlocky. Pure, uplifting, and positive schlock. Like, hell yeah, we'll beat back the aliens, and that's its greatest trait. Realistically, the aftermath of this attack would be horrific. Entire nations wiped out. The United States would probably collapse.
We did it, Will. We saved the city.
Canonically, 3 billion people were killed, more than half of humanity. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter, because this kid got his fireworks on the 4th of July.
Didn't I promise you fireworks?
So fucking dumb. I forgot that's a plot point in this movie. Holy
Okay,
shit.
let's talk about the aliens. In a world with so many unique alien designs, I appreciate the classic design of a big-headed, bug-eyed little guy. A gray. Gray aliens make me laugh. And I'll admit, these aliens make me laugh too. It's just something about their face, man, it's hilarious. Look at him go. It's strange that there were complaints about how generic the alien designs were, because wasn't that the point? Like, these are the Area 51 aliens. The ones people think look like this. If anything, these designs are kind of clever. Like, you can't just have silly little aliens as your bad guys. That would look pretty stupid. But at the same time, you also want them to be faithful. So you compromise. These aliens have two forms. They first arrive in a biomechanical suit. It's almost like a fleshy power armor. Gives them a permanent scowl. And then, on the inside, is a little gray alien. Look at that little guy. What's kind of neat is it's like they sit inside the armor's head, like a pilot. Wait, are these mechs? Is this like Gundam or Ratatouille?
That's actually kind of base design. Reminds me of everyone complaining in the second G.I. Joe movie where they destroyed the entirety of London. Then after the bad guys beaten, they go have a barbecue. I mean, that's a net positive outcome. London doesn't exist and we won. Like, what's not there to celebrate? Nah, Mars Attacks was awesome when they did it. I like their look for the goofy guys. Flesh mecha.
The squid tentacles also go a long way to make them seem gross and violent. Just tentacles going all over the place, choking Brett Spiner out. Now I think about it, every alien is a practical effect. A puppet. Except for, you know, the crowd shots. That's probably why I laugh at them so often. Puppets just make me laugh. Revisiting this though, there were a lot more practical effects than I remembered. This kind of has the reputation of being one of those big CGI fest movies, but it's not really. Most of the effects, even the ones you think are CGI, including the explosions and the city destruction, were all done for real. Huh. Well, not for real, they didn't blow up LA, but they did blow up many.
I kinda wish, though.
Miniatures. It's kind of getting to a point where if a movie uses miniatures, it's classic Hollywood.
True.
I love a film where everyone and everything is stupid. Even the opening is stupid. Look at how the font comes in. They thought this was the coolest shit ever. The marketing
goes hard, it goes incredibly hard.
Was even kind of stupid. ID4? Like, I get what it means, it's Independence Day 4th of July, but like, it could also mean Independence Day 4, and this is the first movie. That lack of thought just for something sort of cool is what this film is all about. Starting off, let's break down the arrival of the aliens. So, in the very first scene, the mothership passes by the moon. The first reports of the ship are from instruments like radar or heat maps. Alarms going off from instruments meant to receive distant communication. Stuff like that. But this ship flies right over the site of Apollo 11. A site that is directly visible from Earth. Now, the mothership is about 600 kilometers long, or 372 miles. Even at its furthest distance in the movie, you probably could have still seen it from space with your naked eye. Even better with a normal telescope from Walmart. Yet for the whole first 10 minutes of this movie, NASA's best and brightest are slowly uncovering what this object could even be. All these alarms and minute-by-minute updates as they try to figure out if this is a natural object. Just look up at the sky, you idiots. The wiki says that nobody could see the mothership because it was hiding behind the moon. But like, this scene right here has it directly outside the Earth. Why are you lying, ID4 wiki? Now I get what—
Why does Independence Day have a fucking Wikipedia? What do you mean? What?
They're doing, like, it's for suspense and build-up, of course, but it is still very amusing when you think about it for like 5 seconds and realize that the arrival of these giant spaceships just catch everyone off guard one by one. I love it. It takes Will Smith, a pilot in this movie, like 4 minutes to finally spot the city-sized pancake floating right outside his house. You know, a job that requires perfect eyesight and spatial awareness, and he doesn't even notice until he looks to the left, and looks to the right, and finally, dramatically, looks forward. This whole film has logic thrown out the window simply for cinematic moments, and I appreciate that. Like when everyone looks at the spaceship in disbelief. Starts normal enough, right? People stop what they're doing to look, some slam on their brakes, get into fender benders, and then this one cop just straight up gets out of his car in the middle of the road. Like he bolts out of a still moving vehicle for some reason, in the middle of an intersection too, and he causes this massive pileup. Why'd you do that, dumbass? When the spaceship arrives, it somehow catches this military aircraft off guard too. Like somehow this giant ball of fire sneaks up through the fog, and this plane got on the phone with the president early.
What? Okay, those parts about the movie I 100% don't remember. Of course it does, it became a full franchise somehow. You're fucking lying to me. There is no way it has more than 2 movies. Independence Day. Franchise. It's also a book series, or is it based on a book series? The feature film Independence Day has been inspiration for a series of novels. What the fuck do you mean? Finding out Independence Day. It has a tons of novels and comic books and like obviously the two movies, which one of which nobody ever fucking saw. What the TV show that? Oh, okay. You're talking about Spaceship Troopers now. Okay. Finding out Independence Day was a franchise, like learning there's 5 Starship Troopers movies and a TV show that went on for 5 seasons. Holy shit, man. What the hell? I bet that is a piece of information that would shock anybody if you were like, oh, did you know Independence Day is a franchise? And they would look at you, what do you mean? It's one movie. Literally one movie. What the fuck do you mean? Like, they don't even know about the second movie.
For really no reason. Like, the only thing they're reporting is that they can't see through the fog. But of course, we know the only reason they're on the phone is so the president can hear them explode 5 seconds later. Everyone's just kind of stupid in this movie, except for one guy. Nobody at NASA or the military could have pieced together what the aliens were actually doing, except for Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum, or David.
David! Why did you send my mother to David!
Pieces everything together, including giving the aliens a cold. How do you defeat aliens with impenetrable shields? Just hack them, of course. Dox them on the internet with the power of Windows 9.
Cancel the alien species on Twitter. That will fucking teach them to stay away from Earth. Just show them Twitter. Literally just show them what is going on Twitter. They will live on their own, man. They will be like, this is a lesser species, man. Let's not get involved. Holy.
95, anything is possible. Oh wait, that joke doesn't even work. He uses an apple.
You're a phony!
Yeah, David hacks the aliens with a 90s MacBook. I wouldn't call this cast star-studded. You know, for the time. Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum are big today, but in 1996? Will Smith's only other movie before then was Bad Boys. And while that was a hit, he was
Bad Boys, what you
still mainly known for, you know, Fresh Prince. Jeff Goldblum had been in Jurassic Park and The Fly, but he wasn't the biggest A-lister. And then we have the rest of the cast, who were just character actors, B to C-listers who could play a distinct role. And that was the strategy of Emmerich and Devlin. Memorable, but more importantly, cheap actors, like Lone Star from Spaceballs, Cousin Eddie, Vivica Fox, Data. Every character here has traits that are conveyed in, like, the most blatant way possible.
There's a reason we have bins labeled recycle.
We don't have time for subtlety. Will Smith wants to be an astronaut, so his locker is filled with a bunch of space pictures. Jeff Goldblum wants to save the Earth, so he's always trying to recycle. Each get their little payoff by the end, and learn that nothing is better than smoking.
Smoke.
Vivica Fox is here. Really, her most notable moment is escaping with the dog. Oh yes, how could I forget about David Levinson?
My fault.
David carries the weight of the entire world on his shoulders, because nobody else figures anything out. He's the only one that knows the satellites are carrying a signal, he knows the signal is a countdown clock, and he knows how to give the aliens a virus. Nobody else—
Why is— they're not even smoking cigarettes, they're smoking big fuck of cigars. Did like a cigar manufacturer fucking pay for half this movie? What is going on, man? I never like noticed that, but holy. Maybe they got fed up from reading Twitter and chose the most direct solution. Yeah. A lot. Another shocker: the Starship Troopers TV show is actually good. Isn't that the CGI animated show? Yes. Spaceship Troopers Roughneck Chronicles. We are doing a lot of nostalgia dives today. It's actually more faithful to Starship Troopers book than the movies. Holy shit. Godzilla is a franchise I am literally like not anything familiar with. I think I saw one Godzilla movie and it was the... What did I see? King of Monsters? Not sure. I really wanted to see fucking the not the latest one, not Kong. I wanted to see the Godzilla Zero something. Why the fuck are... Godzilla -1? Why the fuck are titles and names not working in my brain, man? Holy shit, it's not that complicated, you fucking meatball made of spaghetti. Jesus Christ.
Else at NASA or the military figured this out. Where is our defense budget going?
You don't actually think they spend $20,000 on a hammer, $30,000 on a toilet seat, do you?
Maybe they're just there for moral support. Like President Whitmore. I love President Whitmore. He's one of my favorite fictional presidents. But upon rewatch, he really doesn't do anything. For most of the movie, he's just responding to the situation like any normal president.
Am I crazy for thinking that the president in Independence Day kinda looks like fucking American Psycho? Christian Bale, you know.
Would calm people down on TV.
Kinda like a little bit older version of him.
Evacuate the cities, nuke the bastards. We all know his moment to shine. It's that speech. That damn speech.
We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
Woo! He said the thing.
Can't help but make you smile and go, USA, USA. Let's go get Saddam. I make you smile and go, US.
This fucking ad. Oh my god. Man, seeing Luffy the monkey on a fucking background of an American flag. Oh, it kills me. It kills me so much. And right next to fucking Wings and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
USA.
What the fuck is this? Man.
Let's go get Saddam. I mean the aliens. All the characters in this movie exist just to have one defining moment in the plot. And nowhere is that more true than with Randy Quaid.
They've been studying us for years, finding out our weaknesses. We've got to stop them. They're gonna kill us all.
A drunk pilot who was abducted by aliens in the past and turned to alcohol to cope, becoming the joke of the town. I think the movie brings up anal probing twice.
The aliens abused him sexually.
In my personal opinion, I think Randy Quaid wasn't even acting. I think he was just drunk on set and they rolled with it. But hey, he gets his famous payoff. When all is lost, when nobody else has remaining missiles, and the aliens are about to blow up Area 51, he sacrifices himself in one of the best ways to ever go out.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
If I die, it's gonna be by flying an F-16 into the center of a UFO. Who am I kidding? We all know I'm gonna die falling down the stairs or something. Independence Day went on to make $1 gazillion and take the world by storm.
Like, you see that scene and how can you say this is not fucking hype, man? Like, I'm sorry. That's just kino. That's just cinema, man. Like, peak. It's peak. Like, the movie may be goofy and a little shitty, but I mean, that was, like, unironically a cool scene.
It was the definition of a dumb popcorn flick that probably lowered the collective IQ of the film industry as a whole, with studios now knowing that this was the stuff people were into. But hey, I still like it. Not everything has to be well crafted to be enjoyable. What was once seen as the death of cinema to critics alike just becomes dumb nostalgia for kids who didn't know any better. Emmerich and Devlin would ride this wave for 2 more years, until crashing and dying on the banks of Godzilla 1998. While Emmerich would go on to make more movies of questionable quality, Independence Day remained forever in 1996, untouched by modern Hollywood. You know, until they made a fucking horrendous sequel.
Oh, he's gonna talk about this. Okay. I never saw Independence Day 2. Holy.
Independence Day Resurgence is a 2016 sequel that everyone forgets even existed, except for me. Okay, maybe you
like, nobody saw this, I think.
Remembered it existed. You don't need to tell me. All I know is that from what I can see, everyone forgot about it. Like, nobody ever brings it up. I don't think many talked about it when it came out. It just released, bombed at the box office, and was promptly swept under the rug. Lost to the sands of time. It didn't even get an ironic Moonfall treatment. But was it deserved? Was this movie actually a lost gem that was unfairly forgotten?
No,
have we for all these
not.
years been missing out on a fantastic successor to a 90s blockbuster? Nah man, this movie sucks. If the original was everything wrong with 90s Hollywood, then the sequel was everything wrong with the 2010s. Instead of big, bright, and dumb, we now got dull, gray, and boring. Yippee. Independence Day.
So, yeah. A downgrade in every single, like, thing, because the cinema went a little bit downhill, so... Woo, this is the movie that you regret pirating? Oh, man. Oh man.
2 was such an obvious attempt at turning the original into a giant franchise. Ironically, it didn't resurrect anything. On its opening weekend, it lost to Finding Dory, which was on its second week. Ouch. Turns out some things can't be replicated. Whatever magic boosted the original to the top was gone. Audiences in 2016 weren't into something like Independence Day. They were into more sophisticated films, like Captain America Civil War, Suicide Squad, Deadpool, and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice.
Oh my god. Bangers, all of them. Bangers, all of them. I mean, Deadpool was unironically good, but holy shit. The original
God.
Why did you say your name?
Who knows, it was released during the summer. Maybe everyone was outside playing Pokemon Go. So what did audiences back then miss out on? Not much, to be honest. I talk about a lot of dumb movies on this channel. You know, stuff like Transformers and Dr. Giggles, and this is like below all of those.
So he's shaking hands with the president, and I'm stuck on the moon. That must be nice.
It's such a nothing movie. It throws away everything that made the original even ironically entertaining and replaced it with mush. Okay, you get the point. It's been 20 years since the War of 1996. Not the most creative name for an alien civilization blowing up half the world, but okay. It's like if the Spanish-American War resulted in Florida sinking beneath the sea. What a catastrophic event to move past. Billions dead, cities destroyed, the way of life for people entirely gone, with modern infrastructure obliterated and the global economy in shambles. Imagine what life would be like after such a disaster. Might lead to some interesting story ideas. So what does the sequel do? It does nothing. Yeah, all the cities are rebuilt. In fact, things are better than ever. We're in the future, baby. Thanks to reverse engineering alien technology, humanity has progressed a century into the future in the span of 20 years. There's a colony on the moon. Everything is chrome, and helicopters look exactly the same, except they float. With the world coming together in peace and love, anything is possible. America finally works together with all the nations of the
Quick question. The aliens in Independence Day 1 got their shit rocked by 96 American military. And now we are a space-faring race with advanced weaponry. What the fuck are the aliens gonna do if they come back? Like, this is gonna be the most pitiful, saltiest runback of all time, man. Pacific Rim came out only 3 years previous to this one? Holy shit, man. I love that he's using pirated footage of Batman vs Superman for that Lex Luthor scene. The aliens were only using 10% of the superpower. Yeah, man. That was only like the scout. That was only like the scout Saiyan force. Now the Frieza is coming, you know, his ship. Would make probably way more sense than whatever the fuck we're about to hear, you know.
globe, especially China. Alright, so what's the problem here? Do I just hate world peace? Yes, but that's unrelated. Buy Raytheon stock. When you think about it, it's not a shock that they went with the optimistic route. Plus, the realistic path doesn't really give you much to work with. It'd just be another post-apocalyptic setting. Mad Max, but with these guys. Humans can't really fight back then. Hey, who knows? With futuristic tech, a united Earth, maybe the playing field would be balanced enough for the next time the aliens arrive. Give humanity a fighting chance. Humanity having a fighting chance is a neat idea, you know? There are a lot of paths you could take that concept, and the movie does none of them. It's such...
Imagine if the plot was that it's post-apo now, like kind of Mad Max with like different factions, and alien ship, like from a completely different race than Independence Day 1, crash lands on Earth, and for us as humans, for all the factions, it's fucking gold rush. Meat is back on the menu. This is, they may have food, they might have technology to get us like off this planet or to be a superpower. And the crew of the alien spaceship has to fucking survive like relentless waves of people coming for whatever they have on board. That would be a cool, like, reverse of that trope. But I want to see Mad Max with aliens. Fucking exactly, man. That would be cool.
wasted potential. The leap in technology just creates a generic futuristic setting. Tall buildings here, a moon base here. Every indoor environment is a dark steel room with blue computer lights. The movie's technology is in that boring middle ground, where the tech changes literally everything about the series, but also it doesn't change it in an interesting enough way, at least in a way to justify the change. Why get rid of humans fighting aliens with modern technology? That was pretty cool. The only change they even made was giving the planes plasma lasers.
I got you now. I got you. Whoa!
They don't even get shields. How the hell did humans adopt everything from the aliens, but not their shields? This futuristic upgrade would be kind of cool if you leveled the playing field, but they didn't even do that. The aliens just steamroll past this fancy orbital defense system in a few seconds. They take out all the satellites. Humanity is just back to square one. Either push the idea farther or don't have it at all. If you want future tech, just go nuts with it. Make it a challenge next time for the aliens. Instead, we just get the original movie with Star Wars lasers. Crazy how all this rebuilding...
I have no fucking idea why they made this movie. Like, there is not a single good idea in there. What the fuck?
Happened in only 20 years. It takes longer for a subdivision to get completed. Not only that, somehow they rebuilt every landmark to a T. Man, London looks exactly the same. Maybe we can just hand wave this away as the power of working together. There's no remnants.
Why would you rebuild London, man? Just like put a giant Tesco there. That's a better use of that fucking area. I'm sorry, London. You're getting fried for no reason. I mean, there is a reason. I mean, fucking... I'm sorry.
Of the previous destruction. It feels like everything just got instantly fixed. The biggest disaster in human history swept under the rug, like this movie. If you couldn't tell, I'm not the biggest fan of this tech leap. But it's not because things are rebuilt too fast, or because they don't do the idea in an interesting way. No, I mainly hate it because it changes the damn aesthetic. This doesn't even look like it's from the same series anymore. The original bounced between so many distinct locations. But you know what the second has? Dark room. Dark room with computers. Another dark room. Salt flat. Where are my regular rooms, Emmerich? What'd you do with them? Even Area 51, which was white and clean and sterile, became another dark room. This whole movie feels like one long scene in the same location, despite the fact some scenes aren't even on Earth. How is that possible? It all blends together in a mush of gray, blue, and teal green. The main reason the tech leap sucks is because now this whole series is just Star Wars, but worse.
You ready for a close encounter, bitch?
Everything looks so muted, but there's always one solution to fix bad color grading: just add more stuff. More stuff means better movie. When people say they hate CGI, what they really mean is stuff like this. The original feels quaint by comparison. Most of that was practical. Stationary camera movements restricted to hide the effect, quick, impactful cuts. It kept the action grounded. The puppets and miniatures helped add to that visual language of this schlocky B-movie, even if unintentionally. But now in 2016, they can do whatever they want. Throw everything at the wall, make it look like a video game. The camera flies freely, bound by nothing. The aliens aren't even puppets anymore. They're like twice the size they used to be. The charm is simply gone. This doesn't even feel like an Independence Day sequel. Not just because of everything I listed before, but because it commits the worst crime of all. It's so damn boring. I can forgive bad effects. I can forgive terrible acting. Hell, I can even forgive an abysmal script. But the one thing I can never forgive is a boring movie. And that's what this is.
How do you make all of this boring? Like, holy fuck. I think it's because some of the original actors were about to die. This was the last movie of one of them. Dark and greedy. Stark lighting doesn't mean good lighting. Unless it's Blade Runner. The destruction is in Resurgence sucks too. Yeah, like the CGI. The CGI is just not it, man.
A bore. Which is strange because plot-wise, it really isn't that much different than the original. Alien ship arrives, destruction, aerial battle to fight back.
If it's not that different than original, then why does it exist? We have the fucking original. Why did they make this?
The gang figures out how to bring the aliens down, and they trick the aliens to save the day. Why does the original work while this one doesn't? Is it 90s nostalgia? Yeah, probably. But there's something deeper. First off, the destruction. It sucks. Remember those iconic scenes from the first movie? Remember destruction from any Roland Emmerich movie? That's not really here. In this 120-minute long science fiction disaster film, there is like 4 minutes of something destruction related. That's being generous too. This isn't even entertaining destruction, unless you like seeing monuments slowly float into the air. The mothership has its own gravity, so while it's landing, it carries everything with it. It's like a bigger version of that scene from Transformers 4. Somehow with even less tension, because our gang is in an indestructible hovercraft. All of the marketing, everything surrounding this film, revolved around this scene. A scene that is less suspenseful and ironically less impactful than one done in 1996. I'm gonna have to admit it, as funny as Moonfall was, Emmerich lost the sauce. At least after 2012. I don't know if he can make interesting destruction anymore. It's now like things exploding is just an obligation without thought. That original city explosion was full of so many little moments of action. Tiny vignettes. People flying around, buildings exploding, Harvey Fierstein saying the funny line, the dog. Day After Tomorrow had the build-up with all the rain, and showed the way from so many different perspectives. 2012 was just a wacky cartoon. Destruction scenes need more than just destruction for them to work. They need build-up, payoff, aftermath. Characters we know being in danger, even if we know they'll get out okay. This movie has none of that. No build-up. It just happens.
I just think that the gravity destruction thing, when it pulls things up, it kind of just looks boring, man. Just explode it. The mothership also turns its gravity off when it finishes touching down. What the fuck? Boring movies are worse than bad movies. Oh, fucking 100% true. Same for video games. Same for everything. Boring, like mid-boring is always way worse than just bad. They also bore a massive hole 95% of the way to the center of the Earth, strafe through the ocean, and then act as if we're all good. We're all good when they stop the aliens, as if life on Earth wouldn't end. What the fuck?
See this Chinese city get picked up, and that's it. Our main characters aren't even on Earth while it happens. They fly down to see the debris falling to Earth. Monuments float and fall down. That's it.
I like to get the landmarks.
It's destruction at its most literal, like if the slasher just shot the victim with a pistol without any tension or moment to process. I mean, good job. You technically did what you were supposed to do. I should probably bring up the biggest issue with the entire movie, the pacing. It is crazy how much time they discuss things that never matter and rush through important moments that should. Despite having a ship land on Earth that is 3,000 miles long, and the characters saying how this situation feels more dire than the last time, it just doesn't feel that way. It feels like an episode of a show, like this is just another occurrence. The first movie trimmed all the fat. It began with the arrival of the alien ship, something that doesn't happen for a full 30 minutes in the second one. A fifth of the sequel is spent introducing that there was a time skip, and our protagonist is now Liam Hemsworth. They called the first movie a 1950s B-movie, but if anything it's the second, because just like those alien flicks of old, this is just people sitting around in dim gray rooms, talking. The original had a lot of conversations too, but because the situation was desperate, they kept moving from place to place. Here it's just one gray room to another. The only time they break it up is to show Jeff Goldblum's dad taking a road trip with a bunch of kids. This is an entire subplot in the movie.
Who's in charge here?
No one. Our driver left us to take a ride in Minnesota.
Just like that, he just left?
He went to go have sex with his girlfriend.
To show how bad this movie's pacing is, I have to dissect a certain moment. So, the aliens are controlled by an alien queen. You know, like a bug. Kill the queen, you stop the invasion. So the whole movie is building up to tricking this queen into getting out of her ship and blowing her up with a bomb. It's a suicide mission.
What, we some kind of...
A suicide
Oh, he had to pull it up.
Mission that ex-President Whitmore willingly does to get back at the aliens. Make the voices go away. Yeah, 5G destroyed his mind. In the climax of the film, they lure the queen out. She's exposed. Whitmore, in one heroic last act, pilots an aircraft one more time, flying right into the queen, and
Don't tell me it's not gonna work. Please don't tell me it's gonna be in fucking vain.
The bomb. He sacrifices himself and saves humanity. That's right, arguably the most iconic character of the last movie sacrifices himself to save humanity. The queen is dead, the alien ship leaves, and the movie ends. It ends on a bittersweet note. President Whitmore made the ultimate sacrifice, and everyone recognizes his heroism. Yeah, that's not what happens. Whitmore blows himself.
I fucking knew it, man. I fucking knew those. They can't do anything right. When it rains, it fucking pours, man. Like, those bad movies always do this fucking shit where even the smallest cool thing they could do, they will fuck up. Oh my god.
Up, and he does die, but the queen has a shield, so she just doesn't.
God, she has her own shield.
His death is actually just whiffed away as an oopsie. It kind of comes and goes in 30 seconds flat, a real blink and you miss it moment. He blows up the ship, sure, the queen just shakes it off and chases Jeff Goldblum in a school bus full of children for like 10 more minutes before Star Wars stuff kills her. Imagine if at the end of Halo Reach, Carter just missed the Scarab and crashed into the mountain. His death contributed nothing. And then the Scarab chased Noble 6 while he drove a school bus.
That is such a perfect comparison. Holy shit. Oh man.
Moment that should be a big deal is kind of just hurried along. I don't know, maybe they needed more scenes of not John Oliver and this African warlord. I sure do love not John Oliver. While the movie just sidesteps the president's death, it will not shut up about the speech he made at the end of the original. This movie opens on that speech. They even try like 3 times to replicate it, each falling flat every time. Charisma is not something this film has. I don't care for Liam Hemsworth. Nothing against the guy. He's just there. Even in other films, he's always just there. He kind of fits this film perfectly then, because they're both.
Ooh-wee. This is like the dude in Kong Skull Island who tried to use the grenades, only it's stupid instead of funny. That would make Halo good though. Hey, we don't take rich slander in here. We don't take Halo rich slander on this channel. I'm sorry. Halo rich is where I draw the line.
Both boring. They spend so much time introducing his character. And what do we learn by the end? He's a brave pilot, He works on the moon.
I'm stuck on the moon.
He's getting married to the president's daughter. He really doesn't have a goal or motivation outside of being a human who wants to save the Earth. The original at least had characters who had individual goals in some sort. What motivation does Liam Hemsworth have? Make up for almost killing Will Smith's son? You know, the character's son, not Jaden Smith. Though that would be funny if that was his motivation.
Man, in that case, the only thing that he would have to apologize for is not pulling through, because oh my god, the Jaden Smith is unsufferable. Holy
Since it's
shit.
been 20 years, that fireworks kid from earlier grew up. I wonder how he turned out.
It's great to be back.
Wait a second. He looks familiar. Oh my god, is that... Talk about a movie changing in retrospect. I know an actor isn't a single role and getting typecast sucks, but like, I simply can't unsee it.
How's it looking out there, Captain Hiller? It's just really humbling to see how beautiful Earth is from here, Madam President.
His character really does nothing special. Like you would think
The first Halo is the only one I care about? What about Halo 2? What do you mean? Like, I get it, Halo Reach and everything that came after that. And 3, like, usually people sometimes don't vibe with, and I get why, but Halo 2? Come on, man, Halo 2 was goated.
Because he's Captain Hillard's son, the plot would include him more, like almost as much as it included Will Smith. But nah, he's given equal screen time to such fascinating characters like Comic Relief Guy.
Did you miss me?
And obligatory Chinese actress. It's like they only included him because, well, they needed something to tie back to Will Smith. Couldn't get Will Smith himself. He's too expensive now. And filming Suicide Squad. So they just killed his character off screen. Made him die in a training accident or something. I can't believe they goosed Will Smith. Hey, at least Vivica Fox returned. She found time in between those Sharknado movies. And Cool Cat. Apparently, over those 20 years, her character went from being a stripper to a doctor. Good for her. She's in this for like a minute. And then they kill her off. I think her Cool Cat cameo was longer. It's kind of mean-spirited.
No, Mom! Oh my god! That's fucking crazy. I can't see this dude. Like, even look at it. I swear to God, I cannot tell if this is a scene from The Boys or Independence Day Resurgence. This looks like fucking A-Train moping whatever in The Boys. Oh my god, I am so sorry for this actor. I don't see anything else other than A-Train. Holy. Halo 1 has special childhood memories. Oh, that I don't doubt, man. That I don't doubt.
When you think about it, this poor guy now has 2 dead parents, and it's all because their actors were too expensive for this cheap-ass movie. Roland Emmerich orphaned A-Train. Sorry, that's my last A-Train joke. I just can't help it. The ending really does feel like that fake movie Vought would make. While Will Smith was too good for this film and attached himself to another cinematic disaster...
That's not true. That's a lie.
You know who wasn't? Jeff Goldblum.
It's a very constructive experience. It's Floyd.
Is it better to be in this or Suicide Squad? I'm gonna be honest, the original Suicide Squad, the really bad one, I didn't mind it. It was, in my opinion, it was a little bit overhated even. It had some moments. Even though it was ultimately a pointless movie, it's fucking definitely worse to be in Resurgence. I think definitely better to be in Suicide Squad. Holy.
We have to meet a friend right now. Great guy, come say hi.
Jeff Goldblum is fascinating in this, because I have never seen a sequel just forget what a character acted like.
We can bait her like she baited us.
I don't think anybody Goldblum or Emmerich cared enough to go back and watch the original movie again, because David Levinson, between these two films, is just an entirely different character.
Hey, fellas, howdy doody. Say, I'm looking for Dikembe Umbutu.
So in the original, David Levinson is pretty reserved. You know, he's soft-spoken, nerdy, almost dour.
Yeah, that's right. I'm telling you, we're wasting time. He's not going to listen to me. We should go. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he listen? Because last time I saw him, we got into a fight.
Like, his jokes are just him being overly serious in the situation.
Oops. Oops. What's that mean? What do you mean?
I got it. By the end of the movie, it's like he gained a little bit of confidence. In the sequel, he's now just Jeff Goldblum.
Hide the real sphere inside the isolation chamber and pack this decoy transmitter, so to speak, onto a tug filled with cold fusion bombs.
Funny internet man, Jeff Goldblum.
Does Umbutu Jr. need a psychiatrist? Unresolved daddy issues?
Watching these movies back to back shows how much...
It's like somebody fucking sucker punched me in the face, man. Holy fuck. Oh.
She truly flanderized in real life, right before our eyes. You've seen a Marvel, you know what I'm talking about. I just think it's kind of hilarious that nobody gave enough of a shit to go back and think about David Levinson as a character. That's kind of what this whole movie is all about. Like, I didn't even notice this until my brother pointed out. They straight up just repeated the same clip twice. These are the same planes. They just mirrored the shot.
Kino, cinema. It's kino.
You can tell because the letters are backwards. Wow. One thing they did seem to really care about, though, was President Whitmore. Yeah, I guess I should probably end this on a high note. I gotta say, I like President Whitmore in this movie. 20 years have certainly not been kind to him. His brief experience with that mind zap kinda ruined his sanity. He stumbles onto the stage like Joe Biden. He's absolutely the best part of this whole movie, taking down the alien queen for putting him through years of torment. Honestly, that's a fitting end. But then they just had to have their stupid bus chase.
Man, that would have been at least bittersweet, you know? Look, it only had $165 million budget, okay?
So even the best part of this movie gets ruined. Oh yeah, Brett Spiner's here too. And also the orb. Oh yes, the orb.
Quarter of that probably paid to Jeff Goldblum directly.
Orb. So much time is dedicated to the stupid ball.
No one has ever killed a Harvester Queen.
They defend the ball, they kill the queen for the ball, all because this orb wants to form a resistance against the aliens, an intergalactic one, and it wants the humans to be at the head of it. So, Independence Day regurgitation ends with the most 2010s thing possible. Sequel bait.
When do we leave? We are gonna kick some serious alien ass.
Yeah, they didn't get that sequel. When planning the sequel, Emmerich and Devlin wanted to make it a trilogy, with 2 and 3 filmed back to back. Pirate style, baby. But unlike Pirates 2 and 3, this movie was horrendous, and not good, and bombed at the box office, so that third movie never happened. Imagine if Dead Man's Chest was the last pirate movie. None of that shit would make any sense. It'd have no payoff. And that's the biggest issue with Independence Day 2. Most of its runtime is setting up for the grand finale that never existed. This is very much a middle chapter in a book that has no finale. Turns out there are a lot of alien queens, and the only way to truly defeat them is to, you get it. I'm both intrigued and terrified by what this third movie would have been. Emmerich was gonna take this series to another planet. Literally. This was going to become Emmerich's Star Wars. Imagine how terrible that would have been. It's so tragic we never got it. We almost had an utter abomination that would have rivaled Moonfall, a laughingstock that could have been clowned on by the entire internet. What could have been. Sadly,
I mean, alternatively it would have been as boring as Resurgence, which is, you know.
This was the end of the road. The Independence Day franchise, series, duology, whatever you call it, is two sides of a very stupid coin, from two very different eras. The first was peak schlock, full of explosions and brain-dead cheese, corny sentimental moments and one-liners abound. Audiences in the 90s just ate that up. And I still do to this.
Man, when you put them back to back, the first Independence Day was actually fucking amazing. In comparison,
the
like,
second
come
was a
on.
dull, miserable CGI mess that failed to reboot a series. Oh, and it tried so hard to appeal to China. I probably should have mentioned that more, but it's so tired to talk about by now. Hollywood was really leaning in that direction before 2020, and Independence Day 2 remains a time capsule of that. It didn't even work. China didn't even save it. The movie tried though. Chinese brands, Chinese cities, this actress.
It's happening. The chemical reaction, the pheromones, all the blood of my body.
It really was the most 2010s movie of all time, for all the wrong reasons. Maybe Independence Day is that series that will continue to pop up every 20 years. Create a movie that combines every negative trait of Hollywood at the time. Maybe we'll get a Independence Day 3 in 2036, one that's filmed entirely for VR headsets, with a permanent Family Guy compilation attached to the screen.
Now we're talking about some fucking good movie ideas, man.
Because viewer retention is dead, this is the only way for movies to grab the attention of the brain-dead youth. Call me Emmerich, I have some ideas.
We had to do it to him. Oh man, I could honestly, if I ever revisit this channel, I might wanna take a look at if he had a series of videos of Planets of the Apes, because I only saw the original, you know, with the literally most fucking famous plot twist in cinema ever, but it had like 3 sequels, I think, and I never heard anything about them or saw them, and obviously I saw the new trilogy. Took the words right off of my mouth. Now I love the OG Independence Day even more. In comparison, it's one of the best action movies ever. Yeah, holy shit, that was... Oh man. Currently that one vid, but it's still good. But is it about the original? Wait, let me say actually. Is it about the original movie?
Fantastic dance numbers, and a twist ending that has been referenced so many times, it would actually be a twist if somebody didn't know about it. There were sequels of varying quality. What is even going on here? They sequeled it up until the franchise died in heat death sometime in the 70s. Then, in the 2010s, there were actually good movies. Okay, I kid. But the new trilogy is really good.
This is about
Iron
that
Man and
one
Batman,
reboot.
I had my own hero, Caesar the Chimp. And between these two eras, there was the Tim Burton one.
Oh yeah, I forgot this one even exists. Okay, this one I didn't even. This one I didn't see too. I just saw the original from the original like anthology or whatever it was. Yeah, there's 5 Planets of the Apes in the original series. Yeah, I saw just the first one. Nothing else, basically. The not so great remake attempt. Yeah, I didn't see
dead. This is the only.
This I didn't see shit when it comes to that Tim Burton one. Everybody forgot this existed. Yeah, it's one of those moments. Okay, so this was Independence Day, an American Disaster, which I don't agree. I think it was a decent movie. You know, a little bit of a schlock, but we all need a little bit of that slop action in our life, so yeah. Unlike the twist ending in the original, which was shocking, the twist in the Tim Burton one pissed everybody off. I am not aware of that. Okay, okay. I'm putting that video into the watch later because I didn't see that, man. I am completely not aware of the twist. I had the misfortune of watching it, and yeah, damn. Okay, and yeah. This was basically a great video, by the way. Independence Day, an American Disaster by Pointless Hub. Cool channel. I am 100% unironically never heard about the twist from the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes. That is hilarious that it had supposedly that is hilarious that it supposedly had like a very infamous twist. Okay, I'm gonna watch it next stream, so yeah, we're gonna keep it for that. I was gonna watch the Rose Game Dungeon video too, but we've been rolling for 3 hours 12 minutes and I have something to do today, unfortunately, so I'm gonna cut it short. I promise next stream we'll begin with the Journeyman project. Like, come hell or high water, I need to watch that movie. And this I'm putting on the watch later.
Happy birthday.
Too. So I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna watch the Journeyman project, the Grim Clipper video, and finish it with a Mandalore review. And if we do it in a decent enough time and I'm not yapping for like 3 hours, I will watch the Planet of the Apes 2001 video. And that's gonna be for the next week. So yeah, thank you very much for watching me, man. Like, I appreciate all of the support. And yeah, I wish all of you have a great fucking weekend, great day, you know. Don't waste your time watching Independence Day sequels. Go watch something good instead. And yeah, I will catch you in the next one, as always.